How was work today?
Oh, pretty good. We got a new client at the bank. We'll make a lot of money. Anyway, how is your sex life?
I am a genius. I'm rich. Boom, boom, whoop, ooh, ooh, boom.
You're lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
I'm in a store and I'm singing.
Oh my God. Corbin Dallas, Corbin, my man. Corbin Dallas is in trouble. Cover. Another one coming. Cover. I think we should go. Cover.
We are the Sith. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cinema Gulp. It is Hump Day. Happy. Oh gosh, of course, Scotty saved that till the end or till the beginning. I did not see that while we were talking. I didn't even pick up on it. What's up, everybody? This is Hump Day Happy Hour. Triple H, if you consider Hump Day one word, which we in fact do. It's been a while since we've done a Hump Day Happy Hour. Last year, we celebrated our 9 years on YouTube and our 900 subscribes. And now we're pushing along and we're getting to 900 and double digits, and we're really excited about that. So thanks for being here. Another applause to you guys for joining in. Going to introduce the panel here. I'm Ben from Sentinel Gulp. It's the Ayatollah Flat Coca-Cola, the Kit Fisto of fisting. It is Scotty R37.
Thank you.
And of course, my co-host of House Off the Wagon. Hopefully, by the end of summer, we'll be doing that other Dunkin' Egg show or whatever. It's Bobak. Hey, buddy. And Lobo, Mr. Brian, hadn't been on here in a while. Good to see you, my friend. You missed the 9-year anniversary, you son of a biatch.
Oh.
And the Steelbook Slayer, it's Kat. Thanks for being on last minute. Hope you guys got a chance to check out the rundown. It's not freaking the Bible. We're gonna have a chill show. We're just talking about Revenge of the Sith. I don't know why. I think it's because I've never talked about the prequels, and this one, I mean, I've never talked about them on the channel, and this one seems to be doing really well back in the theater, which means people still are interested in Star Wars, just not the new Star Wars that they're putting out. And I can understand why, even though I do think the prequel trilogy is horseshit. And does it get better with age as we get more and more Disney Star Wars? I guess, but it doesn't make it any less shitty. But I wanted to invite Bobak and Brian and Kat on. I mean, Scotty's always here, but because I know that I've talked Star Wars with Bobak loves Star Wars movies. You almost had a complete bias of Star Wars movies until we saw Solo, and we reviewed Solo, and you were like, this one's okay. And I was like, wow, it's the first one he's not like blowing. You know, so, speaking of blow.
Tell your precious princess there will be no terms. There will be no surrender.
You should just fucking smile and blow me!
Right? Anyway, yeah, we're gonna have a good time just talking about Revenge of the Sith. I put up a bunch of kind of random thoughts I had all week because a pattern started developing in my head of how much Anakin Skywalker. Well, we'll get into it. I don't want to. I don't want to blow the load early. Let's get into box office real quick. Wow, this is pretty historic what's going on with Sinners, and I love it because I saw that. Has anybody seen the movie aside from me and Kat?
I still have not.
Oh, it's great. It's a really great movie. Great storytelling, beautiful cinematography, great acting, scary vampires. It's an old school feeling vampire movie where the vampires are actually scary and not like falling in love. They're like fucking, their mouths are soaked in blood. Their eyes are glowing red. It's great. But and Kat, maybe you can help me out with this. The second weekend
Yeah.
was it even a drop, or was it like an almost exact same box?
It was like
office?
a 4.5% drop.
That is absolutely crazy. Movies just don't do that. I mean, they used to. I remember when Sideways first came out. Go back to Sideways, like word of mouth made that like kind of move up in the box office, because people at first were like, what the fuck is this? Who cares? And then people saw it and they loved it, so it moved up. But yeah, Sinners just taking another one. It would be really funny. It's not going to happen, but it'd be really funny if it beat Thunderbolts this weekend. It's not going to happen, but that would be pretty funny. The Accountant 2, which I saw last night. Fun movie. A quick hour and 40 minutes. Testosterone, really funny. Two brothers, John Barenthal and Ben Affleck, shooting people, throwing quibs. Kat, did you see it yet?
Yeah, all the humor and stuff with Bernthal and Affleck is great, but the plot was like I can't.
The plot was
so bad.
The plot was so bad, but it was a fun ride.
Were like paper people that it posed no threat really at all. And it's like, what's the story about again? It's like, I don't remember, but Bernthal and Affleck together are pretty good.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because the first one was a really well thought out kind of thriller with a lot of good action in it. This one really dumbed it down, and I was fine with that, but it's so different than the first one as far as tone, tone and just like the whole idea of autism playing into that story. And this one, it's kind of played for laughs.
Well, it was ridiculous in the first movie, and they make it even more
it's more ridiculous in this movie. Yeah. But I had a fun time watching it. So there's that, But look at that. Revenge of the Sith is still hanging on. Like, this is crazy that this movie is doing so well in theaters. I think it's a lot of dads taking their kids to see it. And then also people in their early 20s and stuff, like a bunch of Z-ringers that, were either just born or not born yet when it came out. So that's cool. That's great. I mean, it's fine and we'll talk about it, but what is that next one there? I can barely even see that. I didn't even put my glasses on.
Minecraft.
Oh yeah, that one dropped pretty hard. I mean, it's still doing great. I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion. It's at 800 million right now. I feel sorry for it. I mean, come on. Don't you feel sorry for it making 800?
Yeah.
Supposedly a big pile of shit. Has anyone seen that?
I watched it twice.
Did you watch it with Mason?
Yeah, and Dave. Yeah.
Did Mason like it or not?
He watched it like 6 times. And,
well, he was a Minecraft kid. I mean,
so did Jay.
Dude, Minecraft is his generation completely. Like, we watched him grow up playing Minecraft. I remember getting a Minecraft like figures for his birthday, and I had no idea what the hell they were. It was just, why does this sword have like squares in it? I don't understand what's going on.
So, what's the deal with the kids in the theater? It's like a Rocky Horror Picture Show thing where they all sing along and throw stuff at the screen, and they figure
bring
it out.
live chickens, I guess.
Yeah, it's the chicken jockey, the little baby zombie on the chicken. It's the chicken jockey. And as soon as the chicken jockey comes out, they're like, ah!
Is that like a big thing in the game or something? Like, I have no.
The little
idea.
Zombies are the most annoying character in the game. You can't beat them. They're like impossible to kill. And then the other one is the Jack Black song. They all go totally psycho.
So he does do music in it.
Whatever.
Yeah, lava chicken. That song. Yeah.
Yeah, my students were like, "Dude, play lava chicken. Play lava chicken."
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
It's only 30 seconds long, the whole song, but like,
thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I grew up when I did. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Well, and I heard people talking about it, and it was like people have made memes out of movies before, but this is a movie that is a meme.
Yeah.
Like, it is just unto itself. It doesn't even have to be good. I've seen reviews comparing it, and like people saying, "Oh yeah, no, I'm a YouTube movie reviewer and I have to sit through this," and then it shows his kid beside him, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever said," and then they say at the exact same time, "This is the worst movie that has ever been produced." One's having a great time and the other one hates it, and so yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, the kids they're totally into it.
You know what?
They
I'm happy that
thousands
people.
about it.
I'm happy that people are enjoying it, and I'm happy people are going to the theater. I mean, leave the live chickens out. I mean, that could cause all kinds of problems, you know.
Wait, so they're cooking chickens in the theater, right?
Yeah, they're bringing hibachis.
They bring lava into the theater with them, right? I think it's out of hand.
I did see like a Roman candle in one theater when from a reaction video. It's just like,
Jesus Christ, dude, that is so fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm getting a Coors Light now that I had to talk about Minecraft.
There you go. There you go, Brian.
I'm gonna wash that out of my brain.
So yeah, I'd never heard the two words uttered back to back, chicken jockey, in my life until I started watching, until those clips were thrusted upon us on the Twitter sphere. And I'm happy for that. Chicken jockey just sounds weird, but and I still don't know what it means, and I don't care. So yeah, so that's the box office pretty much. Everything else going on is I'm trying to think. Kat, did you see anything? Have you seen The Amateur or Until Dawn?
I didn't see Until Dawn. I saw The Amateur. It was okay.
Yeah, Josh saw it and said it was boring. He actually said he fell asleep in the theater. Oh, I didn't know Happy Gilmore put out a re-release, so that's not doing well. $175,000.
Right.
Not exactly a theatrical experience type movie, but all right. So let's move on, guys. All right. How do I want to approach this? Okay. I didn't have anything else to transition. I want to get overall thoughts on Revenge of the Sith. It's the 20th anniversary. That's why we're talking about it. I saw it in the theater the first month I moved to Chicago to go to college. I went with like a couple of people I just met like the first or second day of school. They were the same as me. They didn't know anybody. And we went and saw it. And I was expecting what I got out of the first two, which was fucking crap, you know, to me. And then it started out really fun, but stupid, misguided, but laughably horrible acting. Pretty cool visuals, I guess. I'll never understand the line, how did this happen? We're smarter than this, when they get kidnapped. It's almost like meta. It's almost like they're talking to us or something when that happens. As I don't buy the love story for 1 second. They have no chemistry. They don't even seem like they like each other or know each other. But an hour into the movie, I started going, whoa, this movie's getting dark. Like, it's getting dark and getting dark fast. And I was kind of enjoying that. And what's his name? Ian McDiarmid?
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant, man. I think he's a Scottish actor, isn't he? Or Irish actor or something like that.
Scottish.
It is so bizarre that he played the Emperor in Return of the Jedi, and yet he's still playing him. I guess they just took a younger guy and made him look really old. I always just thought that was an old man when I watched Return of the Jedi.
He was 37 when they filmed him in Return of the Jedi.
That's insane. I mean, yeah,
He's
it's
so
insane.
good too.
He's so good, like as that character. I mean, he's the highlight completely for me. But yeah, I found myself kind of loving the second half of this movie and thinking the first half was just as awful as the other two prequels. But at the end of the day, like, and we'll get into more and more of the questions. I want like the thesis to be like, did we need the other two movies? But we'll get into that later. So, but Brian, I want to go with you. What do you think of Revenge of the Sith?
I thought it was a giant piece of shit when I first watched it, and I mean it's for sure the best of the three. It's not even close. At least it's entertaining, and then it gets better as it goes on, and it does have two of the best fighting scenes in all of Star Wars with Yoda battling the Emperor or Palpatine, and then with of course Obi-Wan and Anakin when he's basically becoming Vader. Those scenes are legit. Even the beginning, like, even though the acting's sucks. The beginning of the movie with the attack on Coruscant or whatever, Attack of Coruscant, where they're flying through, blowing everything up. That's a good scene. Like I like the whole thing. It's pretty fun. But the movie itself was shit until it's better now. Because I watched it again. I watched it a bunch of times. And because I've seen the Clone Wars, I've seen Rebels, I've watched every single Star Wars thing that there is. Tales from the Jedi, Tales from the Sith, all that. And now all the gaps have been filled in, and now I'm actually like a fan of that whole era. Yeah, because I understand it. But
so did it take you having to like do your homework and watch cartoons that fill in the gaps in order to like this movie? So you don't like it on its own as a movie because
it's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible.
But you've watched, like you told me like about the Clone Wars, it like fits in there, but I'm guessing like a fuck ton of people have never seen the Clone Wars, including I think I watched the first couple seasons. I thought it was good, but then I lost whatever channel it was on or whatever. But
yeah,
you shouldn't need to watch something else to understand the movie.
No, the Clone Wars on its own is really good. Like if you watch the Clone Wars cartoons, I mean, it starts off like a cartoon, and then as the seasons go on, they become better and better. The last season of Clone Wars is awesome, and then episodes 10, 11, and 12, they're better than the movie. Really better than the movie.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
And it all is filling the gaps of what's happening, like what Anakin's doing when you don't see him in the movie, and what Obi-Wan's doing when you don't see him in the movie. And also there's a Ahsoka character, right? That's a big part of Star Wars now. And she's a part of Anakin's life, and she's totally missing from the movies. But you watch the Clone Wars and you totally get it. You watch Rebels and you understand even more, because she was Anakin's Padawan.
So did her character not exist when the movie Revenge of the Sith came out?
Did not exist.
So it was all this retcon stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, loosely retconned in the stuff to fill in the gaps because they knew that there was a gazillion plot holes in Revenge of the Sith.
Well, the character's purpose was retconned by Dave Filoni because George created the Ahsoka character specifically to kill her at the end of Clone Wars, to make Anakin even more aggravated. And once he sold the company and the show was still going on, Dave Filoni loves that character, so he changed the ending. He's like, oh no, we have to keep this character around.
Don't you think the movie would have been cool if she was in it and like and maybe all that turmoil and stuff, like it would give Anakin another depth, or a depth period, to his character?
Yeah, but again, they hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, they hadn't thought of it yet. Right.
I can't imagine that the least amount of acting as possible for Anakin. And
you underestimate my power. I love that line.
I mean, he was such a bad actor in that movie. Like he would have
range goes from like aggression through love to fear.
You gotta save her. I can't live without her. This is probably his acting chops.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Is that actor who played Anakin done other stuff that I haven't seen, or like I haven't seen him anywhere else, have I?
He was in a movie called Jumper. I think the year after. That was kind of a cool concept movie.
Is it about his career?
He jumped off the bridge. No, that would be Jake Lloyd. Ooh,
too soon.
Oh, that's not nice.
You.
Yeah, not nice. But no, he did a couple of things. He was a little bit better with direction from a director that cared about directing actors. So he was better. I think a lot of these people in these movies, these three prequels, just didn't know where they're supposed to look or what's supposed to be in front of them a lot of the times. And I know that can.
It's that early green screen. It's that early green screen thing where, like, you're right. People just don't know, is the creature this tall or is it this tall, or its eyes
and
over here or
especially
over there.
back then, it was really new. Like now, people are more used to it. But even Natalie Portman, who I think is a really fine actress, like is so like confused in those movies because you don't know what's there.
Ruined her career too.
Yeah,
There was that scene where like Palpatine was being rescued by the two Jedis at the beginning, and like they're just slaying all the droids with their lightsabers. Just they're just falling left and right like an 80s action film. And like Palpatine, the actor, is like, and they like CGI droids on either side of him, and they get slashed and they fall away, and he's still like. Because like no one's gonna tell him now the droids are dead.
That's George. That's George, like 3 rooms away on an intercom, going, "All right, Ian. Now there's a couple of things happening in front of you. Just look both ways. Just look both ways."
And then there's Dooku and Grievous are actually pretty cool characters. Just you don't really get to know them in the.
Well, you don't get to, and that's another casualty of those characters are just thrusted into the story of this movie. When I guess they're way more fleshed out in that cartoon. But Bobek, we'll move on to you. Thoughts of the movie?
General?
Yeah, just general for now, yeah.
I feel like this is definitely, because we're talking about a trilogy of trilogies, and you have to have the transition from one block of movies made in this decade to another block of movies in that decade. And this is all about plot lines all having a tie together. And like you guys were saying, sometimes you go back retroactively to insert characters or scenes because it just makes sense that they would have to happen. And I feel like this is obviously the best of the first 3. I mean, episodes 1, 2, and 3, right? Like the other 2, I think they only really function as just a test drive of how can we make a movie with this new technology? Can we bring a new audience in? Because this was like a reboot after, I mean, Star Wars from when I was a kid, and these came out when I was in my 20s, so they were kind of testing the market, seeing if they could get the audience back into this, and I feel like this Revenge of the Sith did a really good job of really trying to tie together all the crazy shenanigans that happened before episode 4, where you're just thrust in the middle of a story. It's you start out with a chase, like the princess is under fire. It's like, whoa, hold on, where'd all this come from? So I feel like Revenge of the Sith, it did a good job plot-wise of just kind of breaking it down. And sometimes the pacing felt a little rushed for me, but, you got to rush the pacing a little bit if you're going to show Palpatine becoming the Emperor and show how he's, corrupting, idealistic but dumb young Anakin. Like they went through that and they did it. And it was a little fast-paced. The people moved too fast. It was kind of campy, but hey, Star Wars was always campy, like it wasn't ever that serious, So I feel like it did a great job of tying everything up. I think that this and then Rogue One and then A New Hope is kind of like, for me, the sweet spot of like, you can really just see everything, get the backstory of that opening chase from A New Hope, and so I feel like it did what it needed to do. And the action, the visuals were great, especially at that time. But it was just a CGI fest. The characters looked clunky. They didn't walk very well. They were a lot of comic relief characters. I don't think droids would actually be like, oh, no! Like I wouldn't program that. Maybe I would. Who knows? But a lot of it felt kind of forced. But I feel like they had to do certain things for the whole overarching story plot line. They did it, and they did it in a pretty convincing way. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied with it.
Yeah, they realized they wasted the first 2 movies of this trilogy not really moving forward. And hey, Lily, hey, darling, hi, sweet pea, hi, sweet pea. But they wasted the first 2 movies going so slow, and I mean, I wouldn't even say peppering in what was happening. It was just so slow and boring. And then this one, they have to shove so much in so fast, for this 2-hour movie.
And maybe Lobo and Scotty and Kat and Ben, you guys can tell me more about it. But like the whole thing about the whole Clone Wars and before that, the whole the droid army and all that was just so Palpatine could get these clone droids with the implant where they will follow Order 66. And like that's really the only purpose story-wise for the first two movies, I think, just to be like, that's why all these clones just turn on the Jedi.
Well,
there's a lot more than that.
Yeah, he's strategically moving chess.
He's a senator of Naboo, and then
he's politically making all these strategic moves like underneath. Yeah. But Kat, you give us your thoughts, and then we'll keep going.
Some of the action in this movie is really cool. Some really iconic stuff. Order 66, which of course, Order 66 being one of the best sequences in the movie was directed by Steven Spielberg, who came on during post and directed that scene. Duel of the Fates, or the duel at the end, awesome. But here's the thing. I think this is the worst movie of the prequels.
Oh!
The acting is awful, except for Ian and a couple people. The love story of Padme, those dialogue scenes are so cringe. And the plot logic or lack thereof to Anakin falling to the dark side does not make a single lick of sense. It's kind of like the ultimate version of the plot demanded it. So we go from 0 to 100 in the space of like 5-10 minutes. But it's like, yeah, the action's cool and that kind of stuff. And the second half of the movie fares a little better. But it's like the first one holds up as an actual movie because there's no plot holes. It's like, yeah, it slows down in the middle a bit. Had the least wooden acting of all three of them. Episode 2, it's like, yeah, Anakin's, again, really bad in terms of acting, but because he's supposed to be a whiny little teenager in that movie, it kind of fits a little better, but that also doesn't really have any plot holes. I mean, there's one major coincidence that none of the characters pick up on, which screws it up, but that serves a purpose. This third one, it's like, to your point, it has to shove in all this stuff at the end, and they don't have any plot logic or story logic to really accomplish it, and it's like, yeah, you watch it and you watch it for the action and the lightsaber fights and that kind of stuff. But all the key scenes, which should have been awesome, and the dialogue stuff, it's just, so cringe.
I will do whatever you ask, my master. Like, why? How did that happen so fast? Yeah. Anyway,
I had a dream where my wife died, so I'm willing to sacrifice all the Republic to save her from my dream.
Lily
you're going to kill us along with all the senators. Yeah, I agree. That's totally going to happen. It's like, why?
I believe in my dreams.
Scotty,
all right, you cynical SOBs. It's not that bad. It's not that good, but it's not that bad. I like it. I don't think that it rushes anything, and I don't think that the first two films are unnecessary. I used to be of a mind that you watch A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then jump back to Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and then do Return of the Jedi, and then just completely ignore the Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace has grown on me over time. And same with Clones, same with Sith. And I think you need the first two to show that there is still good in Anakin by the end of Return of the Jedi. And Revenge of the Sith, I think, is a great cementing of the friendship. So you finally see Anakin and Obi-Wan as peers. I guess it is, Saturday matinee acting. I'm not going to argue the acting craft of it, because obviously there is some cringe going on there. I don't think that Anakin's turn to the dark side is such a 180, simply because he's being selfish, and his fall is based on trying to protect the downfall of Padme. And it's not like I had this dream. He's had visions before when it came to Shmi. So it isn't as shocking to me, and it does sort of show like what he's willing to do, and that is his turn, is his selfish turn when he kills Mace Windu or pushes him out a window. Samuel L. Jackson keeps saying that maybe Mace Windu will return, but yeah, I saw it on opening night, and it was much hype, and I think I rewatched this one the most out of the prequel trilogy. I think it's okay. It's obviously not with the holy trinity of the original series or original trilogy. The only one thing that really dropped my expectations, and it got that far, is I went in to go see what was the 6th Star Wars movie, and the first line in the opening crawl was "War," and I was like, "So what else have we been doing here, man? Like, it's called Star Wars. I thought we were doing war the entire time." So yeah, those are my thoughts, and we can get into them. And obviously, I'm not married to the movie, so if you guys hate it, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I don't hate it either. I think it's good. I mean, it's not good, but there's parts that are very good.
Yeah, like it's matinee blockbuster popcorn action blinky lights. It's okay, but I do agree with you that there is sort of more depth with the stuff that was produced after it to add context to what was going on. And when it comes to that, it's almost like the dark era. Like we had the EU novels when between the original trilogy and the prequels. And I feel like that animated respite that was happening at the end of the prequels, because we never thought we were going to ever have another Star Wars movie. Oh, those halcyon days. But I do want to check in with the chat. I kicked it off by saying, have you ever heard the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Yeah.
Cat, how did I screw up that? How did I screw that up?
I don't think you did.
No, it's the tragedy.
Oh, right, the tragedy.
And did you ever hear the tragedy of Scotty R37 the Wise? Thank you for saying I'm wise, Lemon Pie.
Every week, Lemon Pie.
Every week. Yeah, exactly. I tell it over and over. Bumpmaster 1, have you ever heard the tragedy of the Star Wars sequel trilogy? Yes, sadly. And then Lemon says, that's not the kind of story Disney would tell you. Alexis says, I saw Revenge of the Sith 3 times recently, like for the re-release. That's wild. Good for you.
I'm guessing it might be original, but who knows?
Yeah. Lemon says, surely one can acknowledge the great moments exist in Revenge of the Sith, even if your opinion of the movie in general is that it is mediocre. I agree. You can find the good parts. Like
I think John Williams did some of his best Star Wars tracks ever in this in the prequel trilogy for sure. it gets so operatic and heavier, where the first one's played as adventure, fantasy, fun, and I mean iconic as fuck, but he kicked it up a notch with those with some of these ones, and just anyway, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Suzanne is here. Hey, Gulp.
Hey, Suzanne. Hey. Oh.
And Lemon says approaching 30 minutes with zero acknowledgement of the existence of the chat. Well, you got your thing.
You know what? That's rare for us because I wanted to wait until we had, sometimes we acknowledge the chat and then there's not another chat for an hour. So, it was kind of nice. Yeah, I know that's unlike us, Lemon. I apologize. But I wanted people to express their thoughts first. It also makes you stay, so your comment gets read, right?
And kiss it.
Oh, I'm glad Lemon brought up It's a Youngling, because you guys, I want to bring up. This isn't a question. It's just a topic. Because there's been a lot of talk recently about the Andor show, and there's some sort of sexual assault implication, but nothing really happening. It's much ado about nothing. I saw it. It's nothing. It's not really.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's nothing. Hey, baby. But people up in arms about that. I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about the fact that Anakin loves killing kids. He does it in part 2. He kills women, children, and then he kills a whole lot of kids in this movie.
They probably
best acting ever. Master Skywalker. I don't know. What are we going to do? I mean, cute kid.
What are we going to
that's
do?
Pathetic. That's it. There's too many of them. Oh wait, I forgot what I'm supposed to say. But no, I mean, whatever. He's a little kid. Hush. Yeah, she doesn't like it either. But yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I wanted to bring this up because it's like there's always been some pretty fucked up shit going on in Star Wars. And did anybody ever think that like an Imperial commander or colonel wouldn't put themselves in that situation where they can just go around the galaxy and do whatever they want to whoever they want. I don't know why it's such a big deal, but anyway, let's get back to
well, but before
Anakin
we
killing
go on,
kids.
and it's like,
Scotty.
look at all the murder. Look at all the murder that happens, and we're fine,
Dude.
with that.
All the genocide, more genocide in the sequel
the-
trilogy even than anywhere else.
I think in The Force Awakens, there's 850 trillion people that die in one
Yep.
scene.
No, I'm not trying to undermine the victims of sexual assault. I'm just saying trillions of people have died, and we've been like, ooh.
Yeah.
One
Well,
person in a camper gets harassed by a guy because he says, rub my shoulders, and then she kills him, versus like entire planets exploding all at one time.
Did you watch this? Did you watch it, Ben?
Andor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Yes, I've watched
Yeah,
the
but you
first.
watched. Yeah, so you saw the scene. I think the most graphic part of that scene is when she strikes him in the head with the crowbar.
Yeah.
I
Other
like
than
when
that,
he kills himself at the end.
other than that, it's just it's a sleaze bag. It's like he's a fraternity brother, and he's just like, hey, can I make you a drink or whatever? Do you want to go see my new stereo in my room?
Maybe they're responding to the fact that unlike the prequels, which again because of how wooden they are, it just doesn't like the horrible things like the child murder just doesn't come across to them as real or intense because the structure, because the execution is so bad.
Because the direction's so bad. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like
you
if it
don't
came
feel
across
the weight
more
of it. Yeah.
It's
You don't really
like,
feel the weight of it.
it's like I should hate Darth Vader and be rooting for Obi-Wan to kill him in the finale, but it's like I didn't really feel much while I was watching because it's like how wooden and that. Yeah.
And I feel so sorry for Ewan McGregor throughout this whole trilogy because he's so fucking good, and he's the only one delivering his lines like where you believe that not only is he Alec Guinness, but he's invested into all these people. Like, you're trying to turn her against me. You have done that yourself. It's like there's so much conviction to that. Yeah, Bobek.
I think Christopher Lee said something about that.
I was just saying hi.
Oh, hi. Lily's
Christopher
being
Lee said
she's being such a doll. She's just chilling.
Yeah, Christopher Lee said something about that too one time, where people asked him, "What's it like acting in front of blue screens the entire time?" It's like, "Oh, it's just like when with all the terrible actors I've acted with in stage plays and movies before."
Somebody should have told Ian McKellen that when he started crying on the set of The Hobbit. Scotty, what do you think about this Anakin habit that he has? Can he kick it?
Well, I think that it is like, aside from being whiny, there wasn't really anything that makes you dislike Anakin to that degree. Like, he kills Mace Windu, but it's like that's the one that really, really drives home. Oh, he is that evil now, and then he chokes out a pregnant woman, which doesn't look good. It's not a good look. But yeah, I think you needed those moments to actually be like, oh, okay, he's turning to the dark side. And one of the bad, and then as it goes on, the worst part is that after he kills the leaders of the separatist movement, and then he has he's rolling that one tear, and it's like, no, you don't get that. I know you're still trying. There's still good in him kind of thing that they're trying to push, but it's like, no, you can either convince me that he's turned to the dark side, or he can be a sympathetic bad guy.
Yes,
but he's certainly not sympathetic in the first
it
two.
was sweat.
There's a lot of Anakin killing children apologists out there online that say that tear was him just reflecting on the fact that he killed a bunch of kids. I don't think he cares about that as much as the story doesn't, because they just move past it pretty fast. I mean, you get one quick scene where he's like, "You killed younglings," but then that's it.
Well, I think that's what George Lucas himself said when people asked him about that. And he's like, yeah, he knows he's done terrible things, but he's already, you've gone down this road. There's no turning back.
Oh, I want to jump on this one. Booger. Hey, Booger, what's up, dude? Just got here. Scotty needs to say the phrase. What is the phrase?
Booger.
Oh,
it's more of a word than a phrase.
Gotcha. Did not know that. But Brian, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that Anakin took it too far, or do you think he was justified in his killing of kids?
Well,
they were irritating. They were irritating.
Yeah, they all made a stink at Chicken Jockey.
At the time, I mean, Palpatine look, no matter what, you probably shouldn't be killing kids, but at the time, Palpatine's asked him to go and basically clean out the Jedi Temple because he convinced him that the Jedi had plotted to take over, to take over the Senate and basically do what he ended up doing.
You know, it would have given that some weight. We were just talking about like how it just didn't mean that much. If there was a couple of scenes where Anakin was maybe mentoring one of the kids, or he went and did a session with the kids, something like that, where he had a connection with them and then he killed him anyway. But there's nothing. It's all just the script, which is just A to B to C. I don't know.
That would require acting skills.
Well, and he really, so going back to, Ahsoka was his during the entire Clone Wars series, a lot of episodes. He had Ahsoka as his Padawan, right? And then in the Clone Wars at the end, she gets blackmailed and the Jedi Order Jedi Council throw her in prison, and they don't believe her that she didn't do it. And of course Anakin does, and he has to go figure out that she's actually innocent and then gets her out of there. But the Jedi Council, they don't believe her the whole time, and they don't believe Anakin. And then when she gets out, she's like, fuck the Jedi, I'm out of here. I quit. And that happens right during this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's interesting.
She leaves, she ditches him. So it's not just what happens in the movie. It's also, basically it's kind of like his daughter.
That's interesting, because my next topic I was going to bring up was the Jedi Council a bunch of assholes? Because the movie suggests that they kind of are.
Well, the movie they really weren't. I mean, in the Clone Wars series when they did the Ahsoka, yeah, they were jerks. But in the movie, not really.
I don't know. I just
the thing. Anakin's throwing a fit because he's like, "How can you be on the council and not be a master?" It's like, but they didn't nominate you. You're only here because Palpatine is pushing you to be on here. So of course they're not going to make you a master. And he keeps advocating. Anakin keeps advocating for the Chancellor getting more emergency powers because the whole thing with the trilogies. In the first movie, he orchestrates everything so he can be Chancellor. Right. The second movie, he orchestrates the war because one, he needs the war to further militarize the Republic, to turn public sentiment against the Jedi, because it's supposed to be ridiculous that you have all these peacekeeping monks as generals in a war. It's like, what? Like that, they even brought that up in Clone Wars season 7, how regular average people were like losing faith in the Jedi and didn't believe in them or care about them anymore. And he also needed to absorb more planets during the war into the Republic, and of course getting all those emergency powers like Caesar and Napoleon. So he needed to do all that stuff so that once you get to the end of the war, he could just pull the last string and he gets what he wants.
But I think that's the problem.
The thing is, Anakin keeps sticking up for him, wanting all these dictatorial powers just because they're friends, and the Jedi are like, no. And Anakin's not, and he's getting mad at the Jedi for not backing up Palpatine for wanting to subvert democracy all the time. And so when Obi-Wan's like, we need you to spy on him, and he's so upset, but he's seen to constantly be telling Palpatine all the Jedi's dirty secrets. So it's like, dude, they're not, you're both playing both sides. They're not doing anything that you're not doing.
I think that's the problem with the prequels, is that you always suspect, or you always expected from the dialogue given in the original trilogy, that the Jedi are this separate group of like monks who use the Force, and they're very spiritual, and they're almost like, like Dalai Lama type shit. And then all the politics are put in this other thing, and the Jedis are just the keepers of the peace. But the prequel trilogy presents them as like they're the ones that are the politicians. Like you never see them like all meditating together. You just see them in a council meeting yelling at people in the center. You never get those moments of like this peace, but maybe all of them together form this big like force ball or something, or I don't know. Like,
well, no, but that's deliberate also, because Qui-Gon was the only one.
No, I know it's deliberate. It just wasn't. Right. It wasn't what I think people wanted.
Sorry, Cal. Qui-Gon was the only one who what?
He was the only one that could see that Anakin is indeed the chosen one. He will bring balance to the Force and wipe out the Sith. But since the Jedi are part of the problem because they've lost their way, because they've become so secular and political, they've got to go in order for that to be achieved. And so when they're the scene on the gunship where Yoda and Mace Windu are second guessing the prophecy, it's because they're so, in a sense, Palpatine's right, because villains in Star Wars get their way by telling the truth. Heroes get their way by lying. Because when Palpatine tells Anakin, if you want to understand the great mystery, you have to embrace a larger view rather than just the dogmatic view of the Jedi. And yeah, the Jedi are dogmatic because they're thinking so much about their own self-preservation. They're not thinking about the Force and like what would be better for the galaxy as a whole. Because Anakin does bring balance to the Force. It's just that
Well,
a lot of bad things has to happen to get there.
Well, maybe the first movie should have showcased how the Jedi once were, and then as the thing started to crumble and the politics started to creep
that
in,
would be you'd have to go back centuries and thousands of years to get back to that point. That's the thing.
Well,
So
but they could have written it that way to where you didn't have to. But
Yeah,
Old Man Bird says they only show them when they're making decisions. They might be cool to hang out with. I agree.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that this is the story of Anakin Skywalker and his downfall, and that's why they had like Disney can mine or misuse or however you view it. I'm 6 episodes and out. That's my philosophy when it comes to Star Wars. But like you can tap into that. There's the Knights of the Old Republic game. I do like the idea that they are the keepers of peace and guardians of the galaxy, as Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan said at the beginning of Star Wars.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did I say Guardians of the Galaxy? Or no? And yeah, so I like that romanticized view, but then by the time you get to The Last Jedi and Luke Skywalker is saying exactly what you're saying. There are a bunch
but that is even what George Lucas said. It's not a mistake that the Jedi feel in the original trilogy they're much more spiritual and in touch with like Buddhism. Really, it's kind of a parallel. Whereas in the prequels, it's a very Western religion because, well, Lucas would never say it. While you have obvious parallels with Caesar and the rise of Rome and the Roman Empire and all that stuff, the Jedi Order being down the street is like Vatican City next to the Roman, next to the Roman Senate. Of course, George can't say that because people get touchy about religion. But if you listen to George's interviews, all his movies, he's very anti-establishment. From THX to American Graffiti, he's always against that type of. Even in Raiders, he had to throw in a dig. Establishment.
He broke the mold with Star Wars. He said, "Fuck you, studios." So
right, and so it's like, and so in the prequels, there's so much more political and Western and secular, whereas it's like Yoda sort of benefits from exile because he's getting back in touch with everything. He's much more spiritual and Zen-like in the original trilogy, and that's all. And that all comes back in Last Jedi when Luke is like, yeah, they were instruments of their own demise, but that's part of why the 6 movies have to happen the way they do.
I love my favorite line from Yoda in his last scene in The Last Jedi.
I had a gallstone the size of a baseball.
Well, gallstones, yeah. Gallstones are for pussies.
Sorry, Bobak, you were gone for a second. We posed the question, or I posed the question. Were the Jedi Council a bunch of assholes?
I'm of two minds. I mean, I feel like this movie tries to show them in a way that you could see him that way, because you have to see him that way in order for Anakin's transformation of Vader, Darth Vader, to make sense. So I think they try to show him in that light. Like it comes down to the point where Anakin walks in on Windu right like a split second after he's disarmed the Palpatine. Like
that was on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. So they're really trying hard to be like, well, based on this individual's perception of events, limited perception of events, they might think so. And so I think that you're going to see stuff like that where the council might be unreasonable or whatever, because they're trying to show you this point of view of this young Padawan, who's getting a little too big for his britches too fast, because obviously he's a pawn in some real player's game. Like it's hilarious. They both want him to be a double agent, against the other side. I'm like, come on now, that's slapstick. That's hilarious. But they try to show you how you could think that. But I feel like the Jedi, they're the good guys, and especially when you look back at like A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, like it's very clear that these are the idealistic good people. Like they're the ones who would rather capture you than kill you, that type of thing, unless you're a stormtrooper, in which case you got to go. But
well, I think that's why Lucas made the prequels full of like robots and droids. So they're just chopping those motherfuckers down.
Heads off. And bro, honestly, if you're going to do a count on how many people lose a hand, like, I don't know what it is with hands. They have to all come off. Like first you get your hand cut off, then you die maybe. But then like everyone's got a robotic hand. Like what is it about hands in this movie, dude? They all got to go. It's a fire sale.
Yeah, I know.
But no, it was definitely something where these are the good guys, but like public perception, politics, that individual and stuff. So, I mean, I would say, yeah, the Jedi are definitely the good guys.
They were blind. They got blinded. They were arrogant. Well, what did Palpatine say to Yoda in the beginning of that fight, like the big fight? He said, like, your arrogance blinds you or something. And
I know what he said. He said,
"Fuck you, asshole." Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, your arrogance blinds you. That's what happened. That was from the very beginning in the first movie when they're like, "Oh no, there's no way there could be a Sith." We would have noticed that, when they were talking about Darth Maul and him being around. There's no chance there could be a Sith. We would have noticed. They were just blind, arrogant, and
that's true. Yeah, they're having. There's a lot of those conversations in the first one towards the end where they're like, darkness is here. We just can't. I'm not going to say the lines right, but like there's insinuation like they can't see it. They know something's there, and they don't trust Anakin. And it's like, okay, fine, put him on a leash, but then you want him to be like a double agent for. If you don't trust him, it just seems like if you're going to put him with Palpatine, that seems a little scary. But Palpatine obviously knew who he was to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, Palpatine was his dad.
Yeah.
Palpatine made him. Him and Darth they made him. So that's
everybody. Okay, let's move on. This one's good. This one is not so stupid. I want to start with Scotty. Who is your favorite character / performance in this movie? And it can be throughout the trilogy if you want to, but
it's got to be Ewan McGregor. Like, thanks for letting me do that first, so I don't have to be the seventh person to say. But like, I think Ewan McGregor totally taps into the into Obi-Wan and Alec Guinness as well without doing an impression. Really, it is a performance. But so I always have this rule. It's like, who's your favorite James Bond, but you can't say Sean Connery. And so, who's my favorite character, but I can't say Obi-Wan Kenobi. I like, for the brief amount of screen time that he has in both movies, I really like Christopher Lee. Sam Jackson, like those two are like underused, obviously because they're supporting characters and they don't necessarily have to take the limelight. But I like the level of commitment, and again, that goes down to Christopher Lee being Christopher Lee, and he's awesome in pretty much everything, even if it's a B movie from the 1980s. But Sam Jackson, his passion for Star Wars, like, brought a lot to it. And so I don't necessarily like Mace Windu as a character, but I do like Samuel L. Jackson playing a Jedi.
Well, he's just Samuel L. Jackson playing a Jedi.
He's far more stoic. Like,
he is.
That's the most stoic that I've seen. And maybe like that stoicism is what we're supposed to get to. Like, he is the representation of the Jedi Council, whereas Yoda is the representation of the Jedi. And he's kind of like, he's the Grand Moff Tarkin of the Jedi Council. And I don't know if I'm supposed to like him. And the council as a whole, with its bureaucracy, is, I think, one of the reasons when there's so much structure put around and a religion, that's when it's like interpretations of prophecies and whatnot. And so, Old Man Bird, absolutely. Dexter Jetster.
Dexter Jetster. The Chris Farley of the Star Wars universe.
I like to think of him as the John Goodman.
Oh yeah, okay. Or remember Mel's Diner? He's pretty much just Mel from Mel's Diner. Brian, favorite character / performance of this movie, or just the whole thing if they've been in all three?
It's definitely the speech at the opera house to Anakin. That was
nice.
By far the best part of the best performance of the movie, I think. So yeah, that great speech about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis is legit, right? That's, you know,
and it's funny that he's talking about like conception without like physical contact.
Master the
what they're
ability
looking
to
at is like a bunch of sperm cells trying to break into an egg in that scene.
that one's really good. And there was cut scenes, I think, about him telling him that, you know, he's actually his father. I don't know if it was going to be at the opera, but somewhere. And but yeah, him and Plagueis, they made Anakin, and then it didn't exactly work out the way it was supposed to. Like the Force fought back or something.
Well, they were trying to create life. They weren't trying to create Anakin. And when the Force saw that they were trying to do that, it retaliated and created Anakin to do them in. It's like, okay, you've crossed the line.
Okay, so and that's why he's the chosen one, because it was they tried to do it and it meant to.
Okay, what?
Yeah.
It's in the.
By the way, Bobak, you're next, so go ahead.
No, I mean, so Anakin is not a child of people who had sex. Like, what's going on?
There was no father.
Well, no, remember, there was no father. It was an immaculate conception. She just became pregnant. And Palpatine thinks
don't you remember, Bobak, when they were calling him Space Jesus for all those years?
I'd have to go back and watch the Clone Wars or the what was the first one, Phantom Menace. Okay, so it's probably all the stuff that I was like, "Oh, this is stupid." You know,
you probably missed it. You probably missed that line in between Jar Jar doing all this.
Misa, what? Misa, save your life, debt.
So yeah,
it's Darth Jar Jar.
Darth, that's right. Darth Jar Jar is the true emperor. Can we get some robot chicken in here? I mean, I love the robot chicken, Darth, like everything. Like they are so spot on. The orders 1 through 65. You guys seen that? The Robot Chicken, Revenge of the Sith orders 1 through 65.
I think I watched that with you, Bobak. I think I
it's
watched
like,
that
what the hell are orders 1 through 65? And it just like shows what all orders 1 through 65 were. And it's like watering the plants, you know, like mowing the lawn, you know.
Order Lance, order tacos, take the kids to school, kill all the Jedi.
Yeah. 60, slaughter the Jedi, start with the kids. You know, the easiest. So.
Oh, wait, that said take him to school. I thought it said kill him.
I want to give a shout out to Anthony Daniels and Kenny Baker, R2D2, and C3PO in whatever order. I mean, to be such a part of all these, aside from like Harrison Ford, who, you know, dies, he gets killed off, right? But like, what other actors have been just such a staple? You know, over and over again. And because they've got those suits on, you never actually see the actors. They're timeless. They're ageless. You know, you can't see that they were teenagers or whatever back in the day, and now they're old men, but they can still do the performances, you know? And it's, I love that continuity, because the cool thing about this story at first, it was the Skywalker family saga, right? And it's all about these other characters. And then it kind of has been branching out, and we have all these spin-offs like Andor, Mandalorian, you know, like we're really going to mine this for all the content and put all it out there. But what is the seam that's running all the way through? You've always got R2D2 and C3PO, you know, and I just love that they're always kind of just there, you know, and
shoehorned them into Rogue One.
yeah, you know, they're just kind of there. They're like, you got to have them. You got to have maybe a Wookiee in the background, like, and all that. But my personal favorite part was where R2D2 and C3PO, they've been through all this stuff. And then like at the end, after the children have been slaughtered and everything's happened, and then like that one senator is like, take care of these droids, refurbish them, wipe this one's memory. And he's like, oh dear, You know,
That is so fucking cheap and lazy. You know,
but I
what else
love
are they
that.
gonna do?
You know, like that was my favorite.
They wrote themselves into a hole by having Darth Vader be the one who built fucking C-3PO, which is the dumbest fucking thing ever. It just is so dumb.
Well, something that I just realized, and I'm a slow boy, but so if Palpatine used the Force and midichlorians to immaculately conceive Anakin, and Princess Leia is the daughter of Anakin Skywalker, and they give birth to Ben Solo, who then has a last kiss with Rey Palpatine. That means that the culmination in episode 9 is like the question of incest. I know it's like the kiss in Empire Strikes Back is contentious because it's like, ew, he kissed his sister, and it's like, holy crap, they continue kissing. Like, this is the royal family, and they're so inbred. Like, this is a family tree with it is just a straight line.
Yeah, because Rey's dad is the clone of the Emperor. So
yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like
Rey's dad was like the I don't know that.
No, but he's the son. But he's the clone. He's a clone.
It's not canon. It's not canon, so it doesn't matter.
No, it is canon. Now
I know it is, but it's not. I know it is.
that bad guy thing in the last 3 is a clone of the Emperor.
No, bad
you
guy.
Never meet Rey's dad, right? You never meet Rey's dad.
Well, no, but they.
Yeah,
exactly. I haven't watched it.
I haven't even watched that in over 2 years. It's like,
yeah,
forget it.
But I do know.
It's like, oh, how do I explain it? I can't.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they didn't even explain it. Somehow, Palpatine has returned. Oh, somehow. I'm sorry. I don't play Fortnite. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, another good thing when the third one ends, where it ends and it ends with 3PO and R2D2. I mean, they end on that ship, and then the next movie starts on that ship.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, well, there's 20 years in between those films, like, you know, of story anyway.
Exactly. You know, but it still ends on the same ship,
and it's still the same Captain Antilles.
Yeah. It's cool.
But whose turn is it? Character and performance. Brian, did we get to you yet?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Bobak, we got to you, I think. Yeah, Bobak said
3PO.
3PO. Cat.
Ian, it was Palpatine. That's it. Yeah, for the third movie, easy.
Totally, yeah.
There were even scenes
and I asked Scotty the question first, and he said, "I'm gonna say Ewan McGregor 7 times. It hasn't even happened yet."
What was really good with Ian too is like once he finally puts the hood on, and he starts talking more like the Emperor. When he gets that sadistic idea that first you're going to go to the Jedi Temple, and he turns around, and the way he says that, Chef's Kiss, it's like, yes, he's back. You know, Ian is great in that movie. He's perfect.
I actually like him better, and I'm going to go with Kat. I think Ian McDiarmid is the best character and best performance. I think that Ewan McGregor's best is in the second one, when you first see him with the beard, and he's really mimicking the Alec Guinness without impersonating Alec Guinness. But part 3 is just like owned. Revenge of the Sith is owned by the Emperor. I mean, that's more of the story than Anakin. Like, Anakin is there, but it's like you don't feel like Anakin is the focus. It's the Emperor. And like I like Ian McDiarmid's scenes more before he gets distorted, because then he kind of hams it up a little bit. But I like it when he's like, I see, it gives you focus. Like, because that right there, you're like, wow, that feels like the Return of the Jedi Emperor, you know, just the subtle, like creepy, aggressive vocabulary, you know, that he gives. And then when he changes and his head
Well,
becomes a butthole or whatever, you know that.
Well, that scene also where he's like too focused. That's also part of the reason that I just hate the string of events that leads to Anakin going evil. It just does not work.
Yeah,
at
it just
all.
yeah, it needed they needed more scenes together. Maybe not talking, but
No.
there needed to be a couple of other things
Well,
there. But
it's just that the lot because he finds out that the guy's a Sith, and what does Anakin do? He immediately ignites his saber, and Palpatine's like, I know you want to kill me. He's like, I would certainly like to, and he's fighting the urge to kill him. So he goes back and tells Mace Windu this.
Yeah,
he's like, you stay here. Of course, Anakin wants to save Padme, so he shows up. He completely ignores the 3 dead Jedi down the hall, and he sees Mace have Palpatine there. And it's like, wait a minute, Anakin, time out. You started this movie by killing Count Dooku when he was unarmed and he was your prisoner. You wanted to kill Palpatine 5 minutes ago when you were in his office. Oh, but now that Mace is doing it, it's evil, and we have to stop it because it's aggressive. And he stops it, and then Palpatine's like, well, when the Jedi learn what transpires here, they'll kill us. I'm like, okay, that tracks.
Yeah.
But then when he says, along with all the senators, and Anakin's like, yeah, I agree, the council's going to go against the Senate. I'm like,
yeah.
No, there's no logic to this. It's like, yeah,
No.
Palpatine's obviously stringing him along, but there's no reason for Anakin to be
It's
that dumb to
because
say,
he's a little baby, and Jules Winfield told him to stay behind so he can go fucking spank these motherfuckers.
And when he marches on, and he's like, what are we going to do about the other Jedi across the galaxy? Because Palpatine's like, oh, I know that you're the only one who had no knowledge of the plot. I'm like, wait a minute. Anakin, there was no plot against him. You literally told Mace Windu the guy was a Sith Lord, and they went there to deal with it. There was no plot. But
real
Anakin,
quick.
He's just totally on board with this.
There was a plot.
Wait, real quick, Scotty. Can anybody explain to me why? I think I know the answer because I think it's in the filmmaking. But when when Mace Windu finally is there with the Emperor, and Anakin is running to get there, he stops running and starts walking.
Yes.
I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like,
yes.
Why does he start walking? Is it like a
hamstring?
Huh? What'd you say?
He pulled a hamstring.
It's so awkward that he's running and then he goes, and he just starts walking like a duck, like really fast.
And then it's like he goes.
It would be funny if he like stopped and wiped his feet. And it's like, I don't want to mess up the carpet.
And then it's like he goes into the Jedi temple and he looks.
Take my shoes off.
And he looks genuinely angry when he's killing everybody. It's like, why are you angry? You were totally on their side 5 minutes ago. Like nothing has changed in the last 5. Like it's
Okay.
like the plot demanded him to change, and so it just randomly changes.
There was setup and payoff for that.
No,
And it
but
happened.
it wasn't set up. It wasn't set up right. But
It
go
wasn't set up that he was going to go slaughter the entire Jedi Order.
Well, no, he goes and he is told to do something that is against the Jedi code. He goes and he talks to Palpatine. Palpatine says, so the Jedi want to take over. And Anakin's pretty much just like, he's hemming and hawing. Like he's like, well, it tracks because I've been put on the council, but not made a master. I've been told to spy on you on a black ops espionage mission against my own leader. This is not really tracking. And then when he finds out that Palpatine is the Sith Lord, he would very much like to kill Palpatine, but he doesn't because, again, survey says Palpatine knows how to keep Padme alive. So he goes to the Jedi as a last-ditch effort to say, hey, guys, let's do this by the book and arrest the Chancellor. And then when he comes in and sees Mace Windu like chopping wood, he's like, no, you can't kill him. I need him alive so that I can save Padme. And that's when he turns on Mace and is like, okay, I fucking need Palpatine. He is the one who will help.
No,
Scotty, do you think a lot of this is the fact that hang on real quick, Kat, because I'm going to forget this. Do you think a lot of this is the fact that Anakin is Obi-Wan's Padawan? And for 2 movies in a row, Obi-Wan bails on Anakin and is off doing other adventures. Do you think if Obi-Wan was there with him, mentoring him,
For sure.
I think there would have been a different result, and that would have been more interesting.
Well, I think the difference
Classic
is that it goes,
needed a father figure in his life.
Well, no,
That's
he
the
just
back-
needed his.
the
He needed
downfall of
his
the
fucking,
Immaculate
Well, no,
Conception.
it was-
no
he
father
needed his
figure.
sensei. He needed
No,
his
it was-
sensei.
it was
you know?
Qui-Gon that he needed.
Yeah.
Because in the first movie, Obi-Wan's a company man. He's like, we shouldn't trust the kid because he's going.
Yeah,
along
but
with
he
whatever
knew
the council said.
Qui-Gon for a day. And
No,
he
but
was like,
but that's the whole
creepy
reason.
pervert.
The whole reason the Duel of the Fates is called the Duel of the Fates is because Qui-Gon doesn't care that Anakin has strong emotional attachments to people. He thinks that's fine. Obi-Wan doesn't because he's a company man. So you know that if Obi-Wan raises him, like in Episode 2, when he blames Obi-Wan for his mother's death, saying he's holding me back, it's like, well, yeah, that's true because Obi-Wan would not have let you go save your mother because he doesn't. Oh, you have to let that go. We have to, like, even when Obi-Wan Anakin tells Yoda that he's having premonitions of death, and Yoda's just like, well, just let go of it and stop
Yeah.
caring.
Well, there you go. There's the answer
Take
to
a
my
lap.
question. Was the
Right,
Jedi
like
Council
it
a
is.
bunch of assholes? Yes, they
Qui-Gon-
were.
If Qui-Gon was his master, that would not have been the case.
Yeah, I know. That's there you go. So what we're getting down to right now is that Obi-Wan Kenobi was a shitty fucking teacher.
Well,
Which is why he said, yeah. He said Yoda taught your dad, not me.
well, I think it was I think it was something from Filoni that I heard, and it was like Qui-Gon would have been his father figure, and Obi-Wan is his older brother, and there is sibling rivalry between the two of them.
You even get that in the Phantom Menace when they meet each other. They like the young Ewan McGregor and obviously Jake Lloyd. They do that handshake. They kind of look alike, like brothers, but like from obviously
Other mothers.
15, 20 years or whatever. Really quickly, guys, let's I just want to say hi because there's 13 people watching. So thank you so much. I don't know where we left off there, Scott. Oh yeah, Dexter Jetster. Oh, Mark, shit. I was supposed to give Mark a link. Qui-Gon has said he was born of the Force. Hey, Mark, if you want a link, I'm going to send it to you in a minute. In Phantom Menace, yes. You know what, Scotty? Can you read these for a second so I can send Mark a link?
For sure.
Thanks, dude.
Old Man Bird says, "Nice Rolls Royce T-shirt." Who has a Rolls Royce T-shirt?
I do.
Oh, Old Man Bird, always complimenting your fashions.
Strega, Rolls Royce powered.
Booger says, in regards to the Kiss and Empire, yeah, but his sister was kind of hot.
Yeah, she sure was. She had that cocaine finger.
Hey,
I know.
Can I read Old Man Birds at 7:11 p.m. when you get to that one?
At 7-Eleven?
The time that he's
Oh, sorry. I have to alter my.
Once we get there.
No, I know, but it's
what time zone are you
10:06 for me. Like it's later for me, so I'm like, when did we start?
Where are you? What city are you in?
Just outside of Toronto.
Oh, okay, cool.
I almost wanted, Old Man Bird continues, I almost wanted to see him look in the mirror and talk to himself like he had a venom inside of him, or a green goblin. That would have been cool.
That's not Old Man Bird. That's Booger 414.
Oh, sorry, Booger. This is Old Man Bird. Do it.
Old Man Booger.
Do it now.
Do it. Yeah, and see, Lemon gets it. I need him. Great line delivery, Anakin.
Scotty, I want to go back to something you were talking about. I do really like Christopher Lee, specifically in what's the second one called? Fuck,
Attack of the Clones.
That's the most forgettable one. But yeah, no, I really, well, who doesn't love Christopher Lee's voice and presence? Like, and he's supposedly like just the coolest. He was just like the coolest dude ever.
Oldest guy I know who had a metal album.
I loved his like weird lightsaber handle. It was like it almost felt like it was a piece of wood or something, you know, like
Cat. Get it, Cat.
Oh, does she have a Dooku? What?
Yeah.
What?
Father, while Cat's getting her toys.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
I am the Senate. Darth Jar Jar.
Shit, I fucking totally forgot to send Mark the link.
See, I think Booger's got it too. Nisa, the Senate.
Oh, you liked that.
Nita.
The plot didn't flow as well, but so much of a
wait
nerd
for the
fanboy
reveal. Wait
to
for the
enjoy that
reveal,
action.
Ben.
Oh no,
That's got
I'm
some
here.
Jedi-ness here.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make her booyah.
Make her big.
Oh, yeah. Full screen.
Make her big.
Pull it out, cat. Pull it out.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Now
Did you get that at the Galaxy's Edge or whatever, Cat?
This came from the Disney store.
Dude, that is
Online.
fucking big. Holy shit.
Life
Oh my
size.
god! Someone
That is
clipped
what
that.
she said.
Sorry.
See,
Wow.
Let me turn this one on.
For some reason, in the movie, it looked like it was like made of like yeah. Let's see the curved like handle. Like that was really cool. It was really cool.
This is really heavy too.
Is it really?
It is. It's got weight to it, so it's like really nice quality.
I think it's one of the most unique lightsabers because of that handle. You know, it's like
yeah, they always went out to try and design something new.
I mean, obviously, people love the Darth Maul one and stuff, but you know,
That's the one I didn't get because they make you get two separate ones rather than just the one.
Well, and I like how Dooku's like the way he uses it with like his sword play, kind of treats it. He doesn't fight like it's fencing, but he kind of flips it around like it's fencing, and I think maybe that's why they angled it that way. That is awesome.
Oh, I also
that is fucking awesome.
The lightsabers are made from a certain crystal, and that's why they have different colors. And
yeah,
like
Kyber crystal
Mace
or
fell
whatever.
out the window has a purple one because that's the most rare one or something. Or
This is Darth Sidious's saber.
I thought so, yeah.
Oh shit! Wait! No fucking shit.
This one's nice and heavy too.
Damn.
I'm not gonna put the blade in all of them.
That's all right. Yeah, the handles are the coolest part.
And I have I have the two Jedi one are over there, but I didn't pull those over. But I got the last one here. That's, of course, you can't have a lightsaber collection without Darth Vader's saber.
Oh, true story.
Yeah.
Dude, but you gotta get Luke's green saber.
I have that. That's over there.
You gotta get it, Kat.
I'll bring it over in a little bit.
Yeah, definitely get that one because that's my favorite all-time fucking lightsaber. And I don't know why they cut that out of Return of the Jedi where he's constructing that thing. That is the coolest.
I think they wanted it as a surprise, so you don't know he has it until he ignites it on the skiff.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. But fuck, that scene's cool where he's putting it together and shit. But
I think
read that one for us there,
much more
Scotty?
into the lore, so they would want to show that now versus before it was just surprise. I got a lightsaber. Now it's like, oh, I want to. Yeah, surprise, motherfucker. Snakes.
Can you give me my lightsaber? Which is your lightsaber? It's the one that says "bad motherfucker" on it.
Actually, that is a true story. Samuel L. Jackson's lightsaber does say "bad motherfucker" on it.
Mark says Mace's was purple because that's what Sam Jackson went. Yeah, I heard that too. Mark, if you're still here, I sent you a link. I'd love to have you on.
That's also why Mace gets a badass death in Revenge of the Sith because he requested. He's like, George, I'm kind of a badass mofo. So if you're gonna kill me, it's got to be a really badass scene. It can't just be by some stupid clone or droid.
Yeah,
it was a pretty cool death. Yeah, I mean, he gets his fucking arm cut off by Anakin, and then unlimited power, but then he just goes. Yeah. I like that scene though, because that's when you're like scared of you're like, okay, fuck, that's the Emperor.
He does have power. Dude,
yeah, because when you're a little kid and he does the lightning fingers, that was fucking scary as a kid.
Scary as fuck. One of the funniest lines to me, it was when like Anakin is talking about killing Count Dooku, and he's like, I can't believe whatever it was, but like he was unarmed, and I killed him. I'm like, yeah, he was unarmed. Like someone took his hands off. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I get it. Yeah, he was unarmed. Yeah.
Well, and there was a chick I had a crush on when I went to go see Revenge of the Sith, and I was like, and I invited a bunch of people, so it was like a group, and I made sure I got to sit beside her, and it was just so fucking teenage. I was anyway. But the best part about watching Revenge of the Sith was that anytime anybody got into a lightsaber fight, this chick would just yell into the theater. She was like, "Cut his arm off! because everybody gets their arm cut off in a Star Wars movie.
Cut his fucking arm off.
Exactly. It was Rosie Perez. I had a crush on Rosie Perez.
What do you got there,
Here we
Kat?
all.
This is Qui-Gon's saber.
Oh, nice. Simple.
You know, I don't even remember his saber because
This is really heavy.
He died too fast. Should have
Yes.
raised that.
And of course, has been requested. We have.
Oh, dude, is this the? I love the head of this one with like the extension.
That's my favorite
because it looks so man-made. You know, it's not.
It does. Now, the one thing is that they couldn't get the blade to fit from the way it looks in the movie, so they have a separate head that's not accurate to swap it on, so you can put the blade on there. But this is what this is actually very light, surprisingly, but it's got you can hang it on your belt.
That's my all-time favorite Jedi lightsaber. Right, I like
Now,
Dooku a lot, but fuck, that one's so cool.
I have a question about that lightsaber, though, Kat, because I thought, because when I was watching Revenge of the Sith this afternoon, it looks very similar to Obi-Wan's from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, Obi-Wan's looks a little similar as well, kind of like almost with this head instead of this.
Okay.
So how do you take this off to put the blade on it?
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that green sucker light up, man.
Okay, good.
Rock.
Yo, DJ Play Nice. Hey,
DJ.
buddy, thanks for being here.
And Cyrus Blackwood says something, 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 dark side. Something, something.
That's Devin. That's Devin. Hey, what's up, Devin?
Go to something else while I figure out how to do this.
Yo, Devin.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Here, go to something else while I figure out how to do this.
All right, I'll go to this one.
I'm talking to you, shit. You fucking shit. Where did you learn your trade, you stupid fucking you idiot? Whoever told you that you could work with men, you fairy?
No, I'm at exit full screen mode is what I'm talking about.
My bad.
I gotta figure out how to figure this out.
I think everybody got through their favorite performances. Here's a new question to pose and ponder. I have two questions left, and I think I'm trying to figure out which one to ask first. Could you have told this entire story of this trilogy in this film? And I want to start with Brian.
Probably not. No, and you could have done it in one movie, but I wouldn't say you can just do it in this.
No, I mean, like if you just had one movie, say it was 3 hours long, and you just added things from. You don't really need to add anything from the first one except for like the political intrigue, I guess. But I don't know.
No, I think the political intrigue you could leave out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the only point of the like trade federation stuff versus the Republic, it was not really necessary.
It was trying to establish what the world was like when there was peace, I guess, right?
Yeah, there's just too much of it. There was. They could have picked
the Jedi. The Jedi. Trying to get in here.
Yeah, you didn't need so much. I mean, I guess they're trying to do world building.
Yeah.
But most of the characters weren't that great. So,
right.
Yeah, I think you could have done one movie, 3 hours, something. Actually, I think people have done it, right? You could take the best parts of these first three movies and you can make.
Yeah. There's like a super cut. There is a super cut. Yeah. Well, do you know what's funny, Brian? Is like somebody went to the Phantom Menace and removed every Jar Jar Binks scene. And the movie's exactly the same, but you just don't have Jar Jar Binks in it at all. You got to watch that cut on YouTube. It's pretty well done. I got to say, it's pretty well done. He's just not in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, he was a terrible character, really bad. Yeah. I mean, unless he really is some sort of Sith Lord.
No, that was bullshit. That was just for fun. Bobak, we're talking about, do you think hypothetically you could have told the story of this trilogy in one movie. And the movie could be 3 hours long. It could be the length of like a extended edition Lord of the Rings movie or something. But do you think it needed 3 movies to tell this story?
It depends on your point of view. Are you talking about the storyteller trying to tell the story and make it interesting and get all the plot points out there?
Whatever you want. It's whatever. If you were making.
Or are you talking about a movie company who's trying to get audience and, you know, make money?
Well, no.
Keep it out there.
I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I'm not an idiot. Obviously, you're making
it's not
10 billion. You're making $3 billion as opposed to $1 billion. I get it. I'm talking about the story, like hypothetically.
Yeah, you could absolutely, you know, if you're just taking it down to the writing and you're making a script, and I mean, you could probably tell one good story instead of 3 pretty lousy stories, you know, that are just going to kind of string it out and everything. Same thing with, like, I think maybe you just mentioned The Hobbit, you know, like, why is one book at 3 movies when The Lord of the Rings, each of the books gets 1 movie? You know, like, you could absolutely tell this story and maybe make it good, you know, and just if you just did like 1 film where we're just going to actually deliver, and that's totally possible. But I don't know if that's within the Star Wars universe. Like, it's kind of a big, messy, the world. It's billions of galaxies or whatever it is, you know.
Okay.
And there's so many people and things going on all over the place all the time. But try to make sense of it. So,
no. You're thinking in the perfect headspace. I'm saying, like, what if, like, these days you get a prequel movie for just about everything that people think they want to see, and then they see it and they're usually disappointed. But what if this movie was called The Rise of Vader, and it was like, you know, George Lucas is coming back, he's going to tell the story of how Vader became Vader instead of a trilogy of movies, and you get a little bit of Separatists, a little bit of, I want to keep someone to say Nobu, what are they called? Naboo. Yeah. Nobu is a great restaurant. And then you get like this young Anakin rising up the ranks, and he's a hothead, but he's a hero and he's a good fighter pilot. All these things which we barely ever get to see in all 3 of these fucking movies. A little bit, I know, Scotty, a little bit we do.
I mean, beginning of Revenge of the Sith, it's, you know, using the pilot thing, trying to scrape all the silly bots off the wing and stuff, you know. But I totally feel you. They would have to actually write a good script and cast actors,
a good actor,
you know, who can actually do the acting, and it's totally possible. But this is a franchise, you know. This was episode 4 at the beginning, and then there was always this vision of 3 prequels and 3 post, you know, and it was promised that we're going to have 9 films. Like when I was a kid, I was told 9, I say. And now I've got more than 9, and I don't know if I care for most of them, but, you know, I got my 9 fucking movies, you know. So I think it's kind of it's popcorn. It's for us to have something to go to the theater for, and, you know, just go and enjoy the experience and stuff. Like,
because of the, I would say I would rather watch the first 3 now than the last 3.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of like the last 3 a little better than the first 3, to tell you the truth.
Are you talking about the prequels versus the sequels?
No, like 7, like if you do episodes 1 through 3 versus 7, 8, 9, I would much rather watch 7, 8, 9 over than 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's rough, man. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I mean, because at least the prequel trilogies go somewhere to at the very end. It pays off what you
with
want.
Rogue One,
even
though Rogue One is the one
get there. The problem with they're almost polar opposites, right, Scotty? Like with the prequels, you have 1 is kind of 2 is like and then 3 is like, oh, this is good. And then with the sequel trilogy, you have The Force Awakens. People are like, holy shit, Star Wars is back. And then the second one, they're like, wait a second. And then the third one, they're just completely fucking checked out because it's just terrible, you know?
Well, the second one was a lot better than the first one.
Of which, what are we talking about?
Last
Jedi being better.
Where Blue Milk comes from.
Last Jedi looked better, but man.
It was a better, because the first movie doesn't have a story or character arcs. It's just trying to repeat the original movie for the sake of repeating the original movie. It's like when Han dies, it's like, Okay, well, what was the purpose of doing that? Well, there really is no story reason for doing
Well,
it.
the only purpose of doing it was that Han Solo requested it in order to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's no story reason.
Just kill me and give me the royalties. And
I met Harrison.
Why are we blowing
I
up
met
the
Harrison
Death Star for
Ford,
a
not
third
Han Solo.
time?
Well, and that's the weird thing about that, and I feel ripped off, and I don't want to go too deep into the weeds about the sequel trilogy, but the fact that Harrison Ford shows up in the third one really pisses me off. Is that if he was willing to come back and play Han Solo again in the third one, even briefly, I don't know why we had to like basically kill off all of our heroes from the original trilogy in each movie. Like in hindsight, you're basically waiting for someone who you love to die.
Mark Hamill doesn't know either. Like he fucking did not get it. Like he's been so fucking vocal about like what the fuck are we
what
doing?
You guys do to my movies?
What did you do to my baby boy? But like,
I don't know.
Jake,
I think he coined the phrase Jake Skywalker.
Yeah. Well, and like Han Solo, and it's memed. It's been said for years, but it's like having Han, Luke, and Leia in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon is all we really wanted. Like, and even then, trying to establish the fact that Rey, Poe, and Finn are like our next generation. It's like, so when are they going to be friends? Are they ever going to be friends? No.
They forgot about that. That's the thing. Like Rian Johnson forgot that we have 3 new protagonists. So then in the third one, they have to do the time skip.
No, he didn't forget. What happened was Poe wasn't supposed to be in the first movie. He was supposed to die in the first.
Yeah, he was supposed to die. Yeah.
And he's like a third wheel that was never really supposed to be in the rest of the movie. And the marketing team looked at that and said, "Oh, we'll make him look like the new Han, Luke, and Leia," even though that was never the case, even in the first movie. So then you have this problem where it's like, okay, Finn and Rey didn't have any arcs in the first movie, and then Poe's just randomly here. So it's like, we have to do something with this character.
Hey, Brian, would you read Devin's comment as Darth Vader voice?
The prequels gargle my balls.
Thank you.
But I want the sequels, and I want them alive.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point from old member. Like, yeah, you had 3 years to ponder each. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Again, we live in different times in the 80s. Like, 77, they didn't fucking know. Nobody knew what Star Wars was going to be, and then they get a sequel out there that's a fucking absolute masterpiece with Empire Strikes Back, one of the best movies ever made. Like in my opinion. But it's not a mandated sequel, and those always like work really well. We already have a story told, but then you get the green light to continue on, and then you get a better director, a better storyteller, better vision, or not visionary. George Lucas is a massive visionary, but
we needed the guy who would go on to direct RoboCop 2.
Yeah, Irvin Kershner, his last movie, right?
I don't know if it was his last one.
I think it was. Yeah.
I have faith that there will be a good Star Wars movie again one day.
But it's not going to be the fucking mini Yoda movie. Like
I don't know, man.
You never know.
This is the thing, is that I every time I go and I sit my ass down in a theater, I want it to be good. And if it's
same here.
Yeah. And so like when I watched some of The Mandalorian, and one of my complaints about Star Wars in general under the tutelage of Disney is I don't like Star Wars on TV. I want Star Wars to be an event that I go to the theater and I check out. I saw Rogue One. I didn't go see Solo because I was like, that's not Harrison Ford. I don't want to see it. And then I eventually saw it and I was like, I was right. And
it's not good.
Yeah, and now, even though, like, because I am thirsty for cinematic Star Wars, it's like I'll go back, and I do want to rewatch Solo now and give it a fresh eye through the prism of there is nothing happening that I'm interested in right now. And I've heard that like the TV shows are some of them are quality, some of them are contentious. I don't care because I don't like my Star Wars on TV. So that's just me. When Mandalorian and Grogu show up, I'll go. I'll buy a ticket for sure. But I'm probably gonna be like, I'm glad I rewatched Solo.
I can't ever watch that movie again. It was so bad.
I'm kind of curious. I think the chick from Game of Thrones is cute.
Yes. Yeah. It's
just
kind of funny. She turns into an evil character like all of a sudden, just like Anakin does in the last
Yeah,
one.
it's funny. Like everybody says that Disney Star Wars is woke, and they made the chick the villain. And it's like that's not very woke of you. Aren't we supposed to protect women?
Brian, I'm watching the clock for you, buddy, because I know you had a time limit. Are you still good?
Yeah, I'm still good because Jace ended up not going to practice. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So
Yeah,
no
so
time.
I can drink more Coors Lights.
Hell yeah! Cheers to that,
Yeah, man.
You drink your cinema.
Old Man Bird says the first time you see an AT-AT in Empire. AT-ATs and AT-STs.
And honestly, AT-ATs never looked as good again. I love the stop motion. I love the lighting. I love the miniatures in Empire Strikes Back. Those AT-ATs were so fucking terrifying. And now you look at them as an adult and you're like, how unnecessary and how slow are those fucking things? You could have just gone down there with fucking TIE fighters and done the same thing, but it makes for such a great scene, you know?
Yeah.
It's the suspense. It's
No, I
slowly
completely
coming
understand. I'm
towards
just
you.
saying, like, you have the cynicism
No,
as
from
you
a
get
real
older.
life perspective, I wouldn't want to be in one of those things.
No,
dude, you're a fucking sitting duck in those things. Like the fact that the smart guy had to go, hey, you know what? What if we just tie a rope around their legs?
Well, and Kat, I have a question for you because I'm assuming you're an expert and you know this. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. So when the AT-ATs, like their armored transport armored trooper attack transport, right? That's what AT-AT stands for.
Sure.
All-terrain armored transport.
Thank you. See, I guessed and I was wrong. And so, but like the reason that it is shaped like a camel is because it does transport troops to the destination to attack. Yes.
But they never do that though.
So does the AT-AT like sit? Can it lie down? Do the legs retract or anything? Like how, or is it always?
Well, you know how a camel sits and gets up, right? It's very
Well, those ones can't because of the way the legs are structured. So the side doors open and they like rappel down or whatever.
You have to rappel down. That's just
that would have been so cool.
All right.
That would have been so cool if they showed like ground troopers coming out and doing that, and it never does. I mean, they're still
they do it in Rogue One?
No, they're just they're only there in Rogue One to get a bazooka to the face and to say, hey,
and a lot of stormtroopers have jetpacks too. You can
they fly now?
Oh God, yeah.
Not the AT-ATs, but you're supposed to have some jetpacks. Okay, one thing about Revenge of the Sith, if you guys have ever seen or played the video games, they have all the Star Wars Battlefield video games. I don't know if you ever checked them out before.
Yeah, I had a couple of those Battlefield ones years and years ago. Yeah,
yes,
fun games.
Like especially when they're going to the Wookiee fight, it's all CGI. You're flying in, and I swear to you that they just use these clips from the movies in the video game, and then we're like, okay, cool. We've already built out all the 3D animation for all what the characters look like and stuff. Let's just let the players online go and take them for a whirl, and
you can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference between a cutscene in a video game and the CGI from 2003 and 2005.
No, absolutely not. And I feel like because you have all the tie-in marketing, like you've got all the what were the Rogue One little things? They look like the Gremlins. They were like the plush toys. They were like little penguins or whatever from
the Porgs.
Or no, it wasn't Rogue One. It was
the Last Jedi. They were trying to push the Porgs like it was their job.
Yeah, exactly. So you always have
those did look delicious when Chewie was. It looked good. It looked like a Cornish game hen.
Yeah, it was delicious. Yeah,
you should. Yeah, we should get some McNuggets and call them Porgs,
McPorgs. But all these movies are vehicles for merchandise, and so back when I was a kid, we had all the Star Wars toys, And you see it in the movie. You have to buy it at Toys R Us, now bankrupt. And you it was all the thing. And nowadays it's the video game and the plush toys and everything else. So like watching Revenge of the Sith, I was like, I've played these maps. Like I've been in this island here. Like I've gone in on the at and stuff. And I was just really reminded of that rewatching Revenge of the Sith last night. Yeah. How much of a marketing tool it is, especially with a video game, tie-ins right there. And it's a lot of fun to get into the world and have your own lightsaber and it's like when the Emperor was doing his twirl move. Like I did that when I played Star Wars. That was like his special move or whatever on the controller.
Like Chun-Li's attack from Street Fighter 2
thing.
Yeah, the spin thing. Yeah, when you play Palpatine in Star Wars, I did it a couple years ago. But that was his special move. Like he does the whole spin thing, comes at you with the, and all that. So I was like, dude, the friggin' tie-ins are amazing. They must be making bank off this shit.
Well, and speaking of the games, like I know that they did a brand new. I have like the Skywalker Saga Lego Star Wars, but I don't have the one with all 9 episodes. And apparently, it's like open world ish. Like I want to get that, and it's not just beep 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 beep. Lego.
Oh my god! Like a full blown open world Star Wars like
Lego game.
Oh, Lego game, but just a regular game like a World of Warcraft where you could go to planets and oh my god, why haven't they fucking done that?
With the new Outlander or Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws last year. It's kind of open world and you can go around and take different bounty hunting missions and stuff like that and travel to wherever you want to go.
I heard it was kind of lame, but I don't know.
Kentucky Fried Pork, yes, Booger.
That's what I want.
Gimme.
They're making a Star Killer movie. I heard.
Well, really? I heard that there's like a Ryan Gosling movie,
Starfighter.
Yeah, what's that about?
Called Star Wars Starfighter, starring Starbuck. Like his name better be Starbuck in that.
No, you can't mix franchises. People.
I'm Starbuck, the Starfighter in a Star Wars movie.
No, but Starfighter. No, it's Vader's apprentice, so it'll be fun.
It better be Sam Witwer.
I don't want them going back anymore. Stop it. We don't need any more Vader. Like, don't go backwards. Go forwards. Go forward. Or don't go anywhere.
It's part of the video game, so it's.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I just meant like the movies. Like, don't go. Or side stories. I still think they can work.
It doesn't need to be a trilogy. It just needs to be a cool movie.
That's a cool movie. And
I was about to say,
they were headed in the right direction with these Star Wars stories. I thought Rogue One was probably the best movie that they did out of these new ones.
When was the last time you watched it?
For me, but Solo not so much. But like,
when was the last time you watched Rogue One?
I watched it in preparation for
twice yesterday
for watching Andor. So probably about 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
and I really enjoy it.
I find the first act and a half rather boring.
Well, that's pretty much fucking Andor in a nutshell. They're just skipping planets constantly and talking.
The first one's good, and then the next two, you're right. There was too much dancing.
But no, I think Rogue One's really fun. It's really fun. It fills in a lot of like little things that you didn't even know you wanted to know, but it doesn't go too far with that stuff,
Andor's a great show though. That's a good that's a great one.
It's a well-made show, but let's stop with the dancing and get to what the fuck.
There wasn't much dancing. People are blowing that up.
That's my god!
Are you end of one episode?
Are you kidding me? Every time they cut back to Mon Mothma or whatever, it's fucking this dance. It's like, dude, get the information.
That's like literally the final scene of the last episode.
No, it's the whole second episode.
No, it's not.
The wedding. It's like the whole episode.
No, the wedding goes through the whole thing, and then they don't do the dance thing till towards the end of it.
Has anybody read any Admiral Akbar books? By the way, there's an Admiral Akbar series called Underwater Army, Akbar's Underwater Army, and I remember buying an audiobook of it and never listening to it, but the story was very intriguing. Where it was sometime after Return of the Jedi, and Admiral Akbar goes back to his aquatic, whatever, safe haven. And yeah. and they find an Imperial probe droid floating in the water, and it's still active. And that's as far as I got with the story, but it sounded very intriguing. But it sounded like a cool concept. My point is like side stories after Return of the Jedi would have been really cool. You know,
well,
like,
that's the Thrawn trilogy, like the Timothy Zahn.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
those are great. Like,
hey, my boy, represent this. Give me
that's what they
episode
should have
1, best of all the prequels. Fair enough, dude. I in represent this, I trust. I don't like that movie, but I always
It
respect
certainly
it.
looked the best when I saw it on when they did the re-release last year, because that was actually shot on film.
Yes,
so the
Yes,
4K
it
was
was.
great.
Yeah, it was
They
the
have
second
more
one
models,
that ruined the
and
film.
they have more models in that movie than the entirety of the original trilogy, and it shows.
Yep.
It
I
looks
know.
really good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot less
That's how much
special effects
Jar Jar
shots.
Binks
Yeah.
sucks, is that you overlook all the good stuff and just remember him.
And see, that's the thing. I never thought Jar Jar was appealing at all, but I didn't start getting annoyed by him until fans wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I was not negative on Jar Jar Binks until people told me that I should.
Yikes.
Look at
What are you
comment.
referring to there, Booger? That's a great statement, but what,
Jar Jar Binks. Oh,
No,
no,
he's
episode
referring
1
to
being good.
He's referring to give me episode 1, best
Yeah.
of all the prequels, and Booger responds rightly.
Did you
Well,
get to that
Kat,
comment?
Kat,
that you wanted to read?
I was 21 when Phantom Menace came out, and internet really wasn't a thing. I
Yeah.
hadn't heard anything about Jar Jar Binks up to that point because me and my friends saw that movie day one. I saw it with Brian and a bunch of other people. So I hadn't heard that he was irritating because I didn't even know who the fuck he was. I just found him irritating in the movie. And about a year before that movie came out, Chris Tucker was in a movie called Money Talks. And he every time he spoke in that movie, my head wanted to explode. So I always that's why I put that clip together of Kobe, my man, Kobe, with Jar Jar, because Jar Jar reminds me of Chris Tucker in Money Talks. Just makes me want to kill myself. So yeah, nowadays, it would get overblown. Everything gets overblown nowadays. Like people are going to hate Mandalorian movie 6 months before it comes out.
Like
and
even
then-
back at the time Phantom Menace came out, people were creating web pages of how much they hated Jar Jar Binks.
well, I didn't have money for internet. Back then, you had to pay money for the
Right, but
internet.
that's what I'm saying. That's how much the hate was real back then, even that people were shelling out to make websites about it.
Ben, you want to check the private chat there, Ben?
Yes, sir.
Did you get to that
Yo,
comment
buddy,
that Bob wanted to read?
Oh, all right, buddy.
Yes, we did.
Are you going to bail out there, dude?
No, I'll take off in a sec, but I just want to give you a heads up.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
almost bedtime.
let's give you the floor, man. Some final thoughts. 20 years of the prequel trilogies. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to rewatch the Revenge of the Sith last night. It's got a lot of action. You just start out and you got like the little battle and the space fighters and stuff, and everything at the very beginning. You kind of see the little I don't know what they call them, but like those little starfighters that Obi-Wan and Anakin are in. They start to look careful, baby. Oh shit. Uh-oh. They start to kind of look like those what are the like the TIE fighters that the yes, big girl.
Oh,
so at the very beginning,
she does not look like
kinda
she's ready
see
for bed.
Ships that look a little bit, yeah, it's not for bed. Ships that look a little bit like what you'll see, but like at the end, like you guys. Okay.
I want to hear her opinions on Revenge of the Sith.
Daddy has some really interesting points to make, big girl.
No, they start to look like early model X-wings, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. And but like someone was saying earlier tonight, at the end, the ships are like the ships from Star Wars New Hope Episode 4. It's just, they're going to be in commission for another 20 years till these babies grow up and all that. But they really try to, and the lighting too is what I really noticed the most. It's so bright at the end. Everything is clinical white. Because I think in like the late 70s, they thought that like outer space stations would be these pristine environments, like from 2001 Space Odyssey and all these things. In Star Wars, everything was so white and bright and just bare and minimal and stuff. You know, that's all they could afford to build on the sets on those budgets. And you see that at the end of The Revenge of the Sith. Everything before that, it's pretty darkly lit. It's a lot more complicated. The set design, you know, there's stuff on the walls, you know, a lot of details. But by the end of it, it looks all white, washed out, very minimal. And I feel like I'm okay, cool. Now I'm ready for episode 4. You know, so I kind of like that transition. They do the best they can. It's camp. You know, you can't take it too seriously.
Observation. That's a good observation. The color palette does change towards the end of that.
Oh, at the end, I put my sunglasses on. I was like, dude, it's bright in here. What's going on? You know? But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You know, you just got to go with it. Can't overanalyze it too much, and it's great.
Sure you can. That's what we're doing.
Well, so speaking of overanalysis, here's the thing that probably pissed me off the most about Revenge of the Sith. At the end, when Anakin and like Obi-Wan are on the lava planet or whatever, they don't even break a sweat. They don't break a sweat, but then as soon as Anakin's legs are cut off, he's sliding a little too close to the lava, and he just like flares up. And then, okay, look at my screen really closely. Watch. His eyelashes are beautiful. Look very carefully. My wife has a fetish about eyelashes because she doesn't have any. And she was just like, that actor has the most amazing eyelashes. And they're still here after he's been fucking burned. His face is burned off. I can't stand this. I will not stand for this, you know.
Well, it's
earmuffs,
like
earmuffs, Lily, earmuffs.
Well, it's like the mining facility that they're at has a shield on it to protect it from the heat. But when they knock the shield down, it starts melting and falling apart. But that's like thick, like 20-foot thick steel, whereas they don't burst into flames just from being in the atmosphere.
Well, yeah, and Bobak,
Obi-Wan's hair fizzle or something, you know.
Bobak,
like, give him the eyelashes.
I was gonna bring that scene up because both actors have talked about not knowing, like they hadn't rendered anything yet, so they had no reference point on like what this fight was and where they were supposed to be. And you can see it in the movie, like when they jump off something, the effects artists didn't even know where they were going to jump to. So they just had to like move them there. And there's a lot of weightlessness in that early CGI anyway. But these two guys, and they have no idea what they're supposed to be doing or where they're supposed to be, what the environment's supposed to look like. So
well, there is a progression of Obi-Wan's tunic getting more and more sort of, there are like cigarette burns from where I guess embers show up.
But not until that final
because of the lava world. It's just
right.
He's getting battered. Yeah.
But like that was always like Mustafar was always
Mustafar, okay.
Kind of like people had been expecting and wanting. They didn't know what it was called, Mustafar, but they knew that it was like a lava planet. Was where
like
Darth Vader.
Face. Look at all the skin. The fire stopped burning after it crisped his skin, but it didn't burn.
Yeah, no. Look at he's got his eyeballs intact. You know.
I know.
Why does he sound like? Why does he sound like James Earl Jones when he puts on the mask? Who knows?
Well, there is. And I only know this because of Red Letter Media, is that there are a lot of things that the Emperor did to Darth Vader's suit just to fuck with Anakin. And it's like, your voice is completely different now. It's going to hurt all the time.
Well, you remember
it's
that
very
scene where
uncomfortable.
He's using the Force and then he breaks himself out of the thing, and it's kind of mimicking like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And then we all get that.
Frankenstein.
We all get that infamous.
Yeah,
actually, it's which they reused like 15 fucking times in the movies. But.
Well, the lava planet was supposed to be in Return of the Jedi.
Right. Yeah,
right, because that's where the Emperor's throne room was going to be, and in the comic they did something interesting. And in Rogue One, where Vader's castle is right next to where he burned to death, because the Emperor in a way wanted to punish him for, you know, this is your failure and you have to live with it now. And it made him have his base right there.
Oh, really?
On the lava bank, on the river bank.
I like that.
So why did the Sith always kill their master?
Because their masters are dicks.
Take their place.
Jedi Council.
And why is the master always surprised when it happens? Yeah.
Yeah, why are they surprised? You know, like, oh, I killed my master, but it's cool for me to be a dick.
Well,
but face.
But
it's the
this is the
arrogance,
thing:
right?
is that's a dogmatic adherence to the teachings of the Sith as it is. Like, if you become a Sith,
Hypocrites.
it is
Dogma.
making a pact with the devil, because you know that you're going to have immediate gratification through selfishness and hatred. But the thing is that you know that you will have to train someone else to carry on the ideology, and that person will succeed you through murder. And you're like, well, as long as I'm happy in the short term, everything will be okay.
It's also the
and you get
arrogance
more
part.
and more powerful, and as long as you maintain your power, then you're good.
Well, it's also like when a soldier or somebody enlists in the military, if they go into combat, they don't think it's going to happen to them. Like they're going to die. They're going to make it. And it's the same thing with the Sith.
That makes sense too.
It's like the Sith are like, well, the Sith, you add the whole arrogance on top of that. Well, yeah, I bested my master, but I'm so hot shit that's not going to happen to me,
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, Bobek.
Well, then what do you, Bobek, you out of here, buddy? Hey, love you, man. Love you, Lily. Oh, look at that smile. Wait, hang on, Bobek. Don't leave yet.
I wanted to do a Vulcan
Look at
salute.
that. Look at
Look how adorable.
Oh,
baby.
she's waving. Look at you, beautiful.
Oh my God. I love you, Lily. I gotta come and see you.
Everybody loves you, big girl.
Her taste in
Yeah.
music is questionable.
Oh, by the way, do you see my underneath my name B? See my little
Jedi.
Yes, because they all die. All right, guys. Love y'all.
Hey.
We drink your cinema.
Later, brother.
Later, guys. Peace.
Peace. Old Man Bird in the chat says Natalie's white jumpsuit, Dex scratching his butt with his third hand, Yoda breaks out his lightsaber, the Slave One Sonic charges. Episode 2 was my favorite of the prequels.
Oh, dude, those Sonic charges were that scene was amazing. The sound design of that scene, like, I mean, obviously they were trying to mimic the Millennium Falcon asteroid field scene, but that pressure sound and then that like wait for it and then bang or whatever it was, that was really fucking cool. Yeah,
Rob said it would be worth releasing it in the theater again just to hear that.
Oh, that was by far, yeah. No, part 2 had like moments.
Slave One is, of course, designed to fly through an asteroid field because it was a police cruiser for an asteroid prison, and it's like you finally got to see it do what it's meant to do, how it flies. I think that was great.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you don't really a lot of stuff with Boba Fett in the original trilogy. Like,
I'm sorry,
everything looks cool.
Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
Boba, whatever. It is a milk. It is a tapioca pudding tea treat. Yes. But no, there's you always get these cool looking things from him, but you never see how they operate or anything like that.
French fried
except for
porgs,
like him spraying string out of his arm.
Cajun porgs.
Boba Fett, Boba,
Boba. You said Boba, and I'm picturing Bubba from Forrest
You
Gump.
guys, let's go get some Boba. Boba sounds good, right?
Boba. Hello, master.
Well, didn't they do something where they had to like take the name Slave One away because it was offensive?
Yeah, they did. Well,
and now, if you look at Twitter, people are calling it Rape One.
I don't. Well, no, and it's funny because it's that thing that you're saying is that
That's right. She actually says that word in the episode, but God forbid we call something Slave One.
Hey, what's up, Jedi Master 2022, Lost in Space and Classic Sci-Fi?
Hello,
just pop in and say hi. Well, thanks, man. Yeah. God, maybe one day we should have you on a Star Wars thing. Hey, Scotty, you staying out of trouble tonight?
No.
I don't know if that was a question.
No.
What's up, Brian? Where'd you go?
Hey, sorry, guys.
Oh, no worries, man.
Yeah, we got a big Star Wars fan that I was on the phone with. So.
Oh, right on.
Hi, Mike.
Who is that? Oh, that's Mike?
Yeah, Torpedo.
What's up, dude?
Oh yeah, he just hung up, but he's He was like, Star Wars. No, I don't like that. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I had to talk to him about life.
He said Star Wars?
Gregory Hines?
Yes.
What did I miss? Did you guys review?
No,
we're just talking about Revenge of the Sith.
Bobak had to bail, and we're just finishing up.
Okay.
Last thing I want to say is, or last thing I want to ask everybody, and we'll start with Brian since he just came back. What do you think of the prequel trilogies? This is a loaded question. Is this your favorite of the three movies? And where does this rank in the trilogy of these fucking Star Wars trilogies?
Did that make all sense? 9 movies? All 9?
No. Like, does the prequel? Where's the prequel trilogy in the ranking of the 3 trilogies, and where is this movie in the ranking of the 3 prequel trilogies?
I'll answer this in 3 ways. It's definitely the best of the prequel. So out of 1, 2, 3, it's for sure the best. And it's got great scenes, great fight scenes, good scenes of acting, at least like the opera scene. There's parts that are good. Even the dialogue with Anakin, as long as Anakin's not really talking, Palpatine and him, it's good, right? Or he even calls him his son, and he's like, it's really good acting, actually. If you just forget about getting rid of Jar Jar, just get rid of all of Anakin's talking in the whole movie, it'd probably be much better.
Yes, it can.
Shut up, baby. Shut up.
Yeah. So for sure the best of the 3. I like this trilogy better than the last trilogy, only because, and I mean this, I love Clone Wars, I love Rebels, I love Tales of the Jedi, I love all that. So, that's why I like these 3. If I wouldn't have seen any of that, then I probably would like the last 3 better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, my watching this movie again last week, I was so nostalgic for it. I think it was like 99, 2002, 2005. Like, I remember exactly where I was when I saw these movies. And I think that kind of gave me, what do you call it? Like the rose-colored glasses or whatever, rose-covered glasses, where it's like, I'm liking them because I'm like, oh shit, I remember that time in my life where I was young and awesome.
We had a tent. Remember we had a tent in front of the movie theater to watch the film.
But I think out of all, I don't like anything in the Phantom Menace. Sorry, Kat. I think there's things in 2 and 3 that like have these really great looking sequences that really stand out. But the second one's got the worst acting by a mile. I mean, it's fucking atrocious. It's so bad. Hey, Jamie. Mwah. But yeah, I think I did end up kind of enjoying the third one. Maybe not theatrically because I was like, fuck these movies. But no, there's moments in the third one that I think are good. But anyway, back to you, Brian, or did you already say where the trilogies are in your ranking?
Yeah, this trilogy is better than the last trilogy if you watch the cartoons.
So what's your ranking? What's your ranking of the original, sequels, and prequels?
Original 3 are the ultimate.
Okay. Yeah, for me, original.
This is second, and then the last 3.
I gotta go prequels over sequels, and I can't believe I'm saying that because 10 years ago, Brian, we were watching The Force Awakens, and I was like, "Fuck, this is fucking awesome!" I get it. I was consumed by the nostalgia and by what they were trying to do, which was just recatch the lightning in the bottle and all that shit. But I just despise the other 2 movies so much, and then I learned to despise Force Awakens. So I gotta say the prequel is more rewatchable because at least you know where it's fucking going.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you, Kat?
I think this is my third favorite of the prequels because it has a lot of great Star Warsy stuff in it. But again, all the stuff with Hayden and Natalie, and the dialogue and some of the logic, it's like I want to skip and mute so much of it.
Just ignore that stuff. Ignore it.
That's the thing. That's a big chunk of the movie to ignore.
That is what they define movies as: dialogue, plot, and performance. And so if you ignore that part,
Clone second, and then I put Phantom first. But even then, it's like, yeah, the lore of the movies are great and stuff, but yeah, they're not as good as the originals. So, but prequel trilogy is better than the sequel trilogy because, again, Force Awakens had no story, or it just they retained the backstory that George Lucas wanted, but there was no. It's like, why are we blowing up the Death Star again and hijacking what little? Last Jedi is my favorite of that trilogy, but Rise of Skywalker is such a train wreck piece of shit that just has no unconscionably bad that it's like you can't. No,
it's so bad. It's so bad.
Like I literally watch it with the sound off just so I can watch Daisy Ridley run.
Hey Brian, can I ask you to read this comment once again in the Darth Vader voice?
Is this the donkey show?
It just reminded me. We don't talk enough about donkey punches anymore. Remember donkey punches? Those were fun.
Yeah.
I remember donkey punches. That's not a thing you can do.
But thank you for being here. FKHC 2005. She let Ryan Johnson pork Star Wars.
Yeah, you're mad at Kathy Kennedy. I think she's cute and has.
I skipped that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Kathy.
Last Jedi is excellent, and Ryan Johnson should have been allowed to do his trilogy because it was going to be something new and detached, which they haven't been doing. They've been chasing nostalgia bait for the last 10 years.
Yeah, man.
We need something new.
Attack of the Clones riders were on badass.
Yeah.
I like Attack of the Clones. Like
Attack of the Clone has moments. We just talked, Brian, before you left, we were talking about that, or while you were gone, we talked about the asteroid scene with the Slave One.
Oh yeah.
Hitting those charges and blowing those asteroids. That shit was fucking epic, man.
Did they have the gladiator scene too, where they're fighting in the?
Yeah, the gladiator scene where they're fighting like fucking oversized fucking praying mantises or whatever.
That was rad though. That was great. I liked
it.
It was the only time in the fucking entire trilogy where it seemed like Anakin and Padme cared about each other because they were rescuing each other and they kissed for the first time. And you're like, okay. And then after that, they look like they fucking hate each other's farts.
Yeah.
But I have no problem with the development of the romance between Padme and Anakin. And I think that Hayden and Natalie have perfectly acceptable, mild.
It's not the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. I'm just saying. It could have been
like it's not like George Lazenby and Diana Rigg from.
She literally greets him in episode 2 saying, "You always be that little boy I knew on Tatooine." It's like,
yeah.
Family in love. It's like,
it was
when you were 11, I was wet then.
It was an interesting decision. He should have said, like, the first time I met you, I felt something in my pants I never felt before.
That's right. That's right.
And I've been thinking about you every fucking day. He does come off really creepy in Attack of the Clones. I dream about you every night. He doesn't say that, but he says something.
So you're right about your first thing you asked about one movie. They could have cut out him as a little kid and just had flashbacks as a little kid, and it would have done the same thing.
See,
or just dialogue.
I've come around on that, and it is something that, like, because we talked about the Phantom Menace earlier, before this, because everything is before this, and I rewatched it, and I was like, I don't want to skip the Phantom Menace anymore. I think that the Phantom Menace is actually, everyone was pissy because it was like, oh, I don't want to see Darth Vader as a little kid. And the reason why everybody likes Revenge of the Sith so much is because you've been watching the Star Wars trilogy, waiting for Anakin Skywalker to become Darth Vader. And in Revenge of the Sith, finally it happens. We've been edging for 6 years, and finally we get to see Darth Vader. And but I do think the innocence, the playfulness, the love for his mother, and what he sacrifices at the very beginning with the machinations of Palpatine, I think that it does. And also, it's an adventure story for kids. It's basically Star Wars Goonies. Well, not Goonies, but maybe Last Starfighter, and he's 10.
Well, didn't they just make a Goonies Star Wars thing?
Oh, I heard about that. I didn't. But again, it's on TV. I don't fucking care.
No, but they did, right? It's like a
I
fucking
couldn't even get through it all. It was okay. It was like
what the fuck was that? What was it called?
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is that I'm fine with showing the innocence and the hope of Anakin Skywalker being able to bring balance to the Force, and knowing that it is like Chekhov's gun. There's Anakin.
No.
He is Chekhov's gun.
You're right. It's not. I don't think it's those like moments in general. I think it's more like I hope you're okay, and I hope everything's all right, Jake Lloyd. But he's so bad at selling those scenes that it's kind of like you don't really know what they're going for because his acting's so fucking terrible, Yeah. In my opinion, I was never like a Jake Lloyd bully. I mean, fuck, I don't know him or anything about him. Like, he wasn't the worst thing in the world, but man, like, have you ever seen those auditions for some of the other kids?
Yeah.
And the second kid was so much better.
Yeah. But again, I think that is part of the reason why Jake Lloyd was cast, is because the second kid was playing like you're trouble, and Jake Lloyd was playing the kid from Jingle All the Way, and and that was sort of more hopeful and ragamuffin, and it wasn't as telegraphed, and that level of the innocence that Anakin holds, I think that is where we're supposed to be. Like, when he is innocent, there is still good in him. And the second one is there is still good in him, but it's because the Jedi took him away from his mom. Like, who knows the good that would have been done in the galaxy if Qui-Gon had just said, man, fuck it.
No, or what if the Metachlorians reader was out of batteries, and it just read the Metachlorians wrong, and he would have been like, this guy's not worth saving. Fuck him and his mom. Let's just go find those parts.
Well,
or how about we just use our Jedi powers and get those parts?
Well, speaking of which, everybody had a theory that Qui-Gon must have got together with Anakin's mom at some point, because
they had chemistry.
They kept saying, people kept pushing that.
I think that's why they wanted to wipe C-3PO's memory, because he watched that shit happen.
Well, because 3PO is also
a good storyteller.
He would blurt everybody's secrets out without batting it. Yeah.
Hey, I just want to acknowledge the chat. We got 17 people right now watching. I thank you very much. If you got, I would love to see everybody sound off, but the ones that are funny. Yo, Gulp, next Star Wars discussion, let me know. I will for sure, man. Just hit me up on Twitter or whatever the fuck it's called now.
The Andor.
I would love to have you on there, especially when we talk about. I'm guessing we'll talk about how long away is that fucking mini Yoda movie, the Mandalorian movie?
May of next year.
May.
Oh, that's a fucking long ways away.
We got plenty of time, but we don't have to tackle Star Wars for a while.
Yeah.
Unless
maybe we'll talk about Andor. Maybe we'll if I continue to stay awake for it, which has been hard.
Did you watch the 4, 5, 6 that came out?
No, I haven't seen it yet. No.
That was good. Those were good.
Yeah, I heard they get better, but
well, first the second episode of this season I thought was bad. Like the whole thing with Andor on the plane, that was just bad.
You mean the guys playing rock paper scissors for fucking?
Yeah. Oh god, but that goes on and on. It's like, I get what you're trying to say, that everybody's disconnected and not trusting, but this is bad. Just stop.
Yeah, they're trying to introduce us to the Rebel base, because that's where the Rebel base is.
Yeah, I think it's all leading to Yavin, right?
Well, they are on Yavin. That's the thing.
Oh, they are. Oh, okay.
Because when he finally escapes in the TIE fighter, it takes off, and you see the Masasi temples and the planet.
Oh,
Yavin.
that's right. That's right. Because I kind of figured that was the thing. Wow. So hopefully we'll get to see what that atmosphere actually looks like, as opposed to a guy popping up and looking like through goggles.
Yeah, when you see the temples at the end, you know that it's the same.
Oh, that's right. Maybe that's where my mind went. Yeah.
You're like, it's the moon.
Well, it's cool because the only reason I'm really sticking with the show, Brian, is because I know it all leads to the battle of what's the planet called on in Rogue One? Scarif, which I think is one of the coolest scenes in any Star Wars movie ever. I fucking love that battle scene in that movie.
Where they're building the Death Star as well from the
Well, now that Krennic is in it, I'm like, oh, okay. If Krennic stays in it, I'm fucking invested because I love Ben.
I think Luthen's the best character on the show. He's
great.
Well,
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the other side of things, it's so cool to see Ben Mendelsohn back in it because you're like, oh, now they're telling you that they're going to lead right into Rogue One. Next thing we need to see is a really awful AI. Fucking Christopher or Peter Cushing's.
in Revenge of the Sith, there's the Death Star when Anakin walks in and he's looking at it. Palpatine's looking at the hologram of the Death Star. That's like a quick. That's pretty cool. So it's like in terms of the movies.
Well, I guess Jedi Master 2022 we won't be doing an Andor thing. Andor shit, pure crap.
Well, it's very well written.
That's
Star
not
Wars.
Star Wars. It's horrible.
None of those things. It's very good. It's very good, very subtle, good drama, great writing, character development, all there.
I'm glad he told me now, though, instead of me wishing that we're gonna put together a show.
Well, we can still do the show.
What about Skeleton Crew?
Rogue One is not bad. No, Rogue One's good. I like Rogue One.
I think Cassian should have been the protagonist of Rogue One instead of Jyn Erso.
He kind of was. But yeah. He was the mysterious,
What's the next show after Andor? Because they're making a bunch of shows.
God, please stop making shows.
They're dropping the Tales of the Underworld on Sunday.
Okay.
But what is that, like a cartoon or something?
Yeah, it's a Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress, two separate, unrelated, but like a few episodes there, like they did with Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire.
Okay. Cool. Asajj Ventress is bad. She's the one that gave Anakin the scar. In the beginning of this movie, you see the scar on his face.
Yeah.
And that's from her, supposedly.
Really?
Yeah, that was in the micro series from 2003.
Yeah, she's badass, man.
So much of this movie's greatness depends on other things that people have never seen.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's good. And Rebels is really good too.
I started Rebels. I started that when it first came out, and I quite enjoyed it. Again, I think I lost whatever streaming service that was on back in the day because I think Rebels came out in 2016. Something like that.
It was on TV. It was a network. It was a Disney Channel show. I think
that's what it was. I got rid of cable.
Yeah.
I got rid of cable. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
And Brian, did you see the Ahsoka show, or did I miss you talking about it?
No. I watched the Ahsoka show. It was okay.
What was it like to see live action Rebels?
Yeah, it was. I just again the acting. I didn't really like. What's her name? Oh my god, the Mandalorian.
Rosario Dawson.
No. She's okay.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
The one that's Sabine.
Sabine?
Oh yeah, I don't know her character is just weird in that show.
Yeah, because Sabine in the cartoon in Rebels, she's badass. And in this she's not great.
Yeah.
Is she like the Faye Valentine in the Netflix reboot of Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, she's just not tough enough and like not rebellious enough.
And she was really dumb and jeopardizing everything because I missed it. It's like what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, old man, bro. The first season of Rebels was hard to get through because it was styled like long form TV, but I didn't feel like I learned anything about the characters by the end of the season that I knew from the beginning. It's like
The only thing I remember
you couldn't
about
just jump
Rebels
in
was
anywhere. Like you would be lost from the first season because you'd have to be kind of following the overarching story.
I remember the only thing I remember about watching that first season of Rebels is like the lead character. I think his name was like Ezra.
Ezra.
And he was like hinted to be force sensitive. Did he ever become force sensitive? I have no idea.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
Darth Maul tries to make
Ahsoka was shit, says a Jedi.
Yeah, no, he's got opinions.
More crap.
It wasn't great. I mean, I enjoyed it.
There was nothing remotely woke about that show, Jedi Master 22.
I don't even know what that means anymore.
I don't either. That's why I make a joke about it. Oh my god. Have you ever seen Paths of Glory starring
No,
Kirk?
you know what? Jedi Master 2022.
Kirk Douglas, it's so woke.
I always want you to speak your mind. So you're welcome here, brother.
Yeah,
if you're a guy anyway.
I like
Jedi Master's a cool. No, he just has. There are people who have very, very passionate opinions, and however you express them, I don't. That's why I'm 6 episodes and out. Like, I already have to deal with the Star Trek community. I'm not dealing with the Star Wars community as well.
But you know what I
That's
love
too
about
much.
you, Scotty, though, is like as much as you can be an apologist and a contrarian, you know the state of Star Trek because that's your true thing. So sometimes you got to sympathize with other people that are passionate about something and think something has turned to shit because you're living it right now.
No, exactly. Dude, but my thing is that I see Star Wars as being a cinematic endeavor. I prefer my Star Wars on screen. And
I do
on
too.
The big screen
in the theater,
theater, and so I appreciate again the expansion of the lore. If you want to see characters that you love, basically a lot of it is just the television stuff. I kind of put in the same category as I did the books during the 90s. And it's like if I want to investigate it, it's there for me, but it's not my jam unless I'm, sitting in a theater with a bag of popcorn.
But remember when you were a kid, though, like I was so hungry for Star Wars in the early 90s because there hadn't been anything in 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
I read the Jedi Academy trilogy with Kip Duran. Oh, my God. And the Sun Crushers. Right? Yeah, the Sun Crushers. I kind of loved it. And the fact that like Han and Chewie get like stuck back on Kessel and you're like, oh, this is so fucking cool. That was a great fun story.
But and again, at the same time, like it was a heyday for people who loved both Star Wars and Star Trek.
That's because
you would in like 1995, you would go to the bookstore and it would be a section of the bookstore would be like Star Trek books and Star Wars books, and they were side by side.
And there were so many of them.
There were there were so many. I don't want to say hundreds.
You know what? Like, I have a new question that just entered my brain from this. Like, because of the extended universe of Star Wars, as we're talking from, I want to say they started in pretty much right after Return of the Jedi, right? They started making books, but I didn't know any of them until like later. But would you have rather? This is probably an easy question
all caps.
This is an easy question to answer, but would you have rather have them taken some EU novel trilogy and adapted it like
the Darth Bane trilogy? Absolutely.
That the Darth Bane one was what was it called? That's where Luke like turns like
no. Darth Bane is the thousands of years before.
Oh no, my bad. Oh, Darth Bane.
The formation of the Rule of Two.
Yeah,
that was like those were great storyline.
Hey, Representative is still in the chat.
Those
the
would
current
be great.
state of Star Wars is worthy to dismiss.
I don't. When they said that they were going to make a new Star Wars movie, like when did they announce that Disney bought it? In like 2012.
Ryan Johnson knows a lot about Star Wars. Maybe you need to go back and watch the prequels. George Lucas, by the way,
when George Lucas was like, the slave
George Lucas, by the way, wrote that for Luke
$2 billion.
Michael Arndt's script, and Lawrence Kasdan put that in Force Awakens, which is why Ryan carries into Last Jedi. So you should really be mad at George Lucas because he's the one who wrote that for Luke.
Yeah,
I'm not really mad at anybody at the end of the day. It's just all entertainment. Hey, Brian, can you read this comment in Vader voice, please?
Hey, Jedi Master, turn off your caps lock.
Ryan Johnson knows nothing about Star Wars. Luke was not supposed to be angry old hermit, devoid from the Force.
I don't recall.
That was
anything
so
everything
Dark
was supposed to
Helmet.
be in
That
there.
sounded
That was
exactly
so
like
Dark Helmet. I'm glad you caught that
was,
too.
huh?
I can't breathe in this thing.
Lone Star.
Lone Star.
We've been jammed.
You love them. No, yes, no, yes.
What are you doing? I'm so high.
Lone Star.
No. We've been going for 225. Do you guys want to continue? You want to wrap it up? You guys let me know.
Well,
Meaning
like,
you on the panel. You guys want to keep going? I'm fine to keep going.
Did you already finish combing the desert?
we ain't.
Yeah, but you know what though?
We ain't found shit.
There you go. There's your Star Trek.
George, look, a Benny.
Up for that.
There's your Star Trek, because that was Commander or Lieutenant Tuvok.
What, that actor?
Yeah, that's
You're
Tuvok
fucking
from Voyager.
No
that's
way.
for real.
That
Yeah.
is fucking great. That is fucking great. It's no secret a good Darth Vader movie would make $2 million. But
No,
what would it be
it's-
about that we
Hey,
don't already know?
Right after he becomes Darth Vader, he goes on a complete fucking
Kills
psycho,
kids.
ultra Jedi killing mission.
He goes to high schools and kills kids. You know what? You could actually make a Vader slasher movie that might be
Bombs
kinda
can't fall in no gravity. Yeah, never mind all the other crazy laws of physics breaking in the saga. That's what you're gonna get mad about just because it's in that movie.
There are no physics. There are no like physics in Star Wars. Yeah.
I know.
the funny thing is,
stupid things people latch onto because we can't like this, so we have to pick apart every little thing that you could pick apart about all the other sets.
I'm starting to question whether Jedi Master 2022 his name is because he likes or hates Star Wars.
but like the thing is that watching Revenge of the Sith and seeing like at the beginning of the movie when they have the Battle of Coruscant and it's like all our batteries are firing and it looks like World War I cannons and it's ejecting shells. And I'm like,
well, and it's very like
it looks rad as all get out. And that's the thing. Cool. It makes no logical sense.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's
like, but it looks cool, and that's the same thing with the bomber run.
All the time when there's no fire in space, there's no
sound in space, and
there's no
any laser.
No John Williams in space.
You know how we said the coolest thing in Attack of the Clones is the sound design of those charges in space.
Yeah,
Oh, those wouldn't be there.
That wouldn't happen.
This is a galaxy far, far away.
What was it?
And the aerodynamics of most of the spaceships wouldn't work when they fly into a planet's atmosphere.
Well, and I love how people hated that scene in Rogue One where the Star Destroyer is hovering over Jeddah.
Yeah.
They're like, well, those only float in space. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about here?
Yeah, exactly.
It's the degree of fan that comes out of the woodwork where it's like, oh, we don't like the movie, so let's ignore all the other things. They're not just as flaws of physics and the other ones. Let's only focus on this. How could this happen here? I'm like, but
the Star Destroyers are not launched from NASA.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was where Palpatine somehow returns and makes 800,000 fucking Star Destroyers in one day.
In Revenge of the Sith, when Grievous breaks the window open and he gets stuck in, Anakin and Obi-Wan are not grabbing onto anything when that happens. They have time to reach over. Like, no, all three of them are going to get sucked out that window into space. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not. The air will be sucked out of their lungs and out of that entire.
Well,
cockpit, by the way.
What? It was something that I saw the other day, and it was like, it was in Back to the Future 1. It was like, how did Doc Brown hook up his 1985 camcorder to the television? And it's like, yeah, no, that's a good question. The guy who invented time travel had difficult times hooking up his fucking VCR. Like it doesn't. What are the?
I know.
Sometimes because the story, because of movie, is the reason things happen. And actually, in every movie, it's because of movie. We have a story we're trying to tell. It gets from here to there. We want to show you stuff that looks cool. It may not be accurate. Like, remember in the before the moon landing, before man went into space, and Earth was just, it was a blue ball. That's all it was. We had no definition for continents or atmosphere or anything like that. It was just a blue ball. That's it. And it was like, oh no, this movie is ruined. I don't think that's how Earth looks from space.
Does the design of the AT-AT Walker make any sense? No, it doesn't. No. Especially since it's so slow. But people love it because it looks cool. But now it's suddenly a problem. It's like, dude, that's just it's just pathetic.
You know, like there's a lot of stuff.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've wondered since I was a kid how Doc Brown had either an ACR or an RCA cable or an XM cable, and even if he did, how would that TV play that? Because they don't have the same components in televisions that they did when they were able to play back video. I love it that you brought that up, because I've always thought about that, but it doesn't matter because it's Back to the Future.
Well, but it's also
it's funny how time travel, which is functionally impossible. Well, they never make mention of it. Doc Brown should have been like, "Oh, what is this thing here? I got to play this thing, Marty. How do I play it?" You know, it's just like
like
they're
he
just
takes
playing
off
it
into the future at 88 miles an hour, but when he comes back and crashes into the movie theater, he's clearly not going 88, 90 anymore. You know?
Oh, that's true too.
That would have killed him the minute he hit that, but no. That's
it reminds me. It reminds
our girls here. Our girls here.
Hey, Jill.
Jill, what's up?
Jill.
But and so now that Jill's here, I can tell this story because she's heard it a million times. You have too. Everyone here except for Brian. I was watching Wild Wild West with my sister, and there was a 80-foot mechanical spider. And Will Smith got punched in the face and fell off of the spider, landed on the ground. And my sister said he would never survive that fall. And I was like, oh, that's your problem.
Yeah, that's the wrong way to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
You watch a movie for fun.
Yeah, you watch a movie for fun. That's why I like watching movies with Brian, because when we go to the theater, we're usually drinking some tall boys and just
having fun. Yeah, I mean, all my favorite movies, you can poke holes in all of them 1,000 times over, but
let me read this one.
Scotty, please read this. Scotty, please read this one.
Jedi Master. Your sad devotion to this ancient religion and help you conjure up the stolen data tapes. The Last Jedi was garbage. Period. I don't care what you think. And Luke was not supposed to become what they made him.
Obviously, you didn't watch The Force Awakens.
They had no plan after The Force Awakens. They tossed Lucas shit out. They did.
They didn't. If you read the Jensen Michael Arndt script, it is in there. Luke has gone into self-imposed exile in the Jedi Temple. It was right there. And that's why Han says Luke left and he gave up and he left. He walked away from everything. That's in The Force Awakens. It's literally right there. And it's at the end of the movie when you see him.
Jill agrees with Jedi Master. TLJ is the moment I checked out of Disney Star Wars.
That's when I did too. And it's only my interactions with Kat, like talking to Kat about it. And I watched it like 2 more times afterwards. And I was like, yes, I thought it was completely
Cry me
different.
A Bigger River, Jedi Master 22.
wait. No, I want to read this.
I want. Yeah, you read it. You read it.
I like this. Just because you think The Last Jedi is good does not make it good. Dude,
Says the guy whose argument is bombs don't have gravity.
That's
in
how
space.
art works. That is how art works. People like Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck is good.
I know. Well, not if you think
There's no
it is.
gravity in space. Like, well, there's no space wizards either.
The majority of people who know anything about Star Wars, what are you calling me, an amateur, Wonka? Hate that movie. Again, Ryan Johnson knows jack.
Yeah, keep crying your fanboy tears, and I'll drink them every day.
Well, don't be mean. Don't be mean.
Well, that's again, he's literally saying, oh, just because some other people don't like it, that must mean it's objectively bad. But gravity doesn't exist in space. Like,
well, no, but I mean, me and Brian, every summer, me and Brian go to the mountains and we ride tauntauns. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's all totally makes sense.
Did they make it past the first marker?
Hey, listen,
well, no, one time I did have to cut one open and put Brian inside of him. But,
there could be gravity in space if
you know what? I love Jedi Master's passion. I love him. I definitely want to have him on the show.
Funny. It would be fun. It'd be a fun stream, that's for sure.
Sorry, Brian, I cut you off. My bad.
No, it's okay. If the technology is good enough, you can have quantum gravity and you can have gravitons and as a particle, and you can make artificial gravity. So it's theoretically possible.
Oh, Brian, you have to read this one as Vader.
Or should I?
Or as Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet.
The only TLG I love. Oh wait, that's not even Darth Vader.
No, that's Dark Helmet. That's Dark Helmet. Just roll it.
It's the longest journey point and click adventure game.
You sound like those old Jeffrey Holder 7-Up commercials. Crisp and clean, no caffeine.
Hey, listen, I'm Darth Jar Jar's apprentice. He taught me everything I know.
Hey, do you guys remember? Do you guys remember when we were in Jabba's palace?
Them motherfuckers ain't here to buy no mandingos.
I remember when we were in Jabba's pleasure palace.
Yeah, you guys, dude, I was in boot camp when you guys fucking did that shit, man. You guys, tell them, Brian, tell them what you guys did when you went and saw the Phantom Menace.
Well, no. We watched. We went to the big Newport. It used to be the biggest screen west of the Mississippi.
Yeah. Not anymore, but it used to be. Yeah,
used to be. So when they re-released A New Hope, we showed up there early in the morning to like get in line, and there was people camping, and we're like, "What the hell? How long have you guys been here?" They're like, "Oh yeah, like 2 days." I'm like, "What? 2 days?" Because in the old days, you used to not have your seat, right? You had to.
Well, and that's what Star Wars used to mean too. You know, it was like
So we're like, "Oh, screw this shit." So then, when Empire Strikes Back came out again, when they re-released it, we got there 5 days ahead of time because we had some friends that had nothing to do, and I went to college nearby at UCI, and so we brought this tent. It was a canvas tent, my mom's canvas tent. It looked like old school shit. We put a big sign on it saying Jabba's Pleasure Palace. Or no, that was Yoda's Hooter Hut. Because we changed the name because it was Yoda's Hooter because of Dagobah in the second one. And so we had Yoda's Hooter Hut, and inside the
if you guys don't know, it's because his hut looked like a boob.
Yes, and we were there for 5 days, and we had a keg inside, and I brought my whole living room, and we had my speakers, and we had a TV, and we had a couch, and we were not the only ones. We had a lot of people, and we just hung out there for 5 days, watched Star Wars movies,
Nice.
It was awesome. And then we did it again for Return of the Jedi, and that was when it was Jabba's Pleasure Palace.
That's the one I missed because I was in boot camp. Yeah.
And we threw tortillas in the theater.
Yeah.
We passed around Jägermeister. It was so great.
You know, it sounds bad, but it was no chicken jockey. You know,
no.
It was so fun. Those were the good old days.
It wasn't that brutal. But,
well, and I do want to get back to just one thing in terms of the controversy with Andor season 2 and having the sexual assault thing that's going on. What the shit did you think that Jabba the Hutt was doing to Leia?
Exactly. Exactly.
What do you think the Sand People were doing with Anakin's mom for a whole month?
Exactly.
And they weren't answering her. It's like
Anyway,
No,
I just wanted to get that out of the way. But then also,
I think well, we live in a different time, so people bring up this bullshit when it's it's just part of storytelling.
Yeah.
First of all,
it was too realistic, I guess.
Yeah, but why? Like, why was it too realistic? Like,
well, they said the word. They said the bad word.
Yeah, she shouldn't have said that. But
what are you talking about?
I think the stupidest thing I've heard on, well, you hear stupid things on a minute basis on Twitter, but the stupidest thing was like, we should create a space word for rape, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Dude,
Yeah,
go back to work. Go back to work. Like, stop this bullshit. Jesus Christ.
And
let's check back in with our positive buddy here. Let's see.
I want to say to Masta, that's why Dial of Destiny was a walking nightmare. I don't think you, dude. I don't agree with you in any way or capacity. I think that the progression of the Indiana Jones movies is okay.
Who are you talking
I'm talking to Jedi Master.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I'm saying that the Indiana Jones movies are good.
I have to agree with him, though. I mean,
that's fine, and I'm just saying for myself.
I'll take a phrase from Scotty. Haven't seen it, don't like it.
There you go.
Andor is a very.
There's only three Indiana Jones movies in my.
That's cool. 6 episodes and out when it comes to Star Wars.
The Dial of Destiny is better than the
Crystal Skull for sure.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess it can't get much worse, but
no.
Yeah, that movie.
It's got Toby Jones.
Toby Jones.
Everybody loves Toby Jones.
Yeah, I don't know. The Dial of Destiny at least was kind of fun to watch. It was okay.
Yeah. Well, I liked it. I liked it in that sort of Alan Quartermain. Like, I'm gonna say it's better than the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but it gave me that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen where Indiana Jones was playing Sean Connery's Alan Quartermain.
That's kind of interesting to me because Quartermain came like decades before Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was kind of based off that, wasn't it? The original stories, and then they made the Quartermain movies after Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I think one of them had like Sharon Stone in it or something.
Richard Chamberlain,
yeah. Those movies were shit because they're like, fuck, we fucked up. We should have made these movies before Indiana Jones, and they just hired some fucking schlub to play the role. They should have got Tom Selleck, but
Okay, so here we go. Jedi Master
tangent.
I think we have found ground zero. The last good movie was The Proper Telling of Midway.
As in good movie in terms of all movies, period? Like the Midway from 1976, you mean?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Wait, I'm starting to rethink. Jedi Master is not 25. He's got to be 75.
He's 60. He's 60.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad. I didn't. Yeah.
Sorry, I think.
No, and I only say that off your reference of this film, but
yeah.
That's a long time ago. It's 49 years going back to say that's the last good movie. You kidding me?
Jedi Master, I want to hear about the final countdown. What do you think of the final countdown? Because I love the final countdown. You guys seen that?
Yeah,
it's a good movie, man. A naval aircraft carrier goes through a time portal and ends up in World War II.
Oh, okay,
great, man.
Yeah, that's a cool movie.
So the new Midway was also a good.
No, the new one was the one that Roland Emmerich did. That was bad.
And veteran. Are you a veteran? Is that what you're saying?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm a veteran too. So good company, brother. The new Midway, is that a movie?
Yeah, Roland Emmerich did one in 2019, and it was just.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I know. It was like the cheesy. Everybody had these really thick, cheesy Bronx accents. The first half of the movie is basically Pearl Harbor and all of that, because for some reason
Pearl Harbor was so fucking bad, man.
With the exception of the 1976 Midway movie, every other thing that tackles Midway feels the need to redo Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I got to meet Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, and what's the guy that shot somebody recently? Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, I got to meet them because they shot the final act on the aircraft carrier that is on while I was on it. So it's pretty cool.
That
I
is
never
rad.
watched the Midwest. I didn't even know there was.
Ben
a
Affleck was the fucking coolest motherfucker in the world, but he constantly needed to go to what we call the smoking sponson and smoke cigarettes.
Oh, that makes sense. That's a good idea.
Yeah, he was always out there smoking. Josh Hartnett, I never got to talk to him, but he was there. But who cares? Because fuck him. Let's see. Jedi Master's still on a roll. My uncle was in World War II. Oh, nice, man. Yeah, my grandfather was. My grandfather was. Yeah.
Both my grandfathers were.
My grandfather actually was a milk runner. If you know what that is, let me know. It was a really cool. Well, it's not cool. It was very gross and disturbing, but it needed to be done. My grandfather was in the bubble of a plane with the machine gun on the bottom. So my grandfather was down there in the bubble with the machine gun, and a milk run was when they would just run through enemy territory and just start annihilating stuff with that gun. And my grandfather always told me about that. And he actually, well, that's a story for another time, but he got shot down, and he also got shot, and he gave me the bullet and a piece of grenade that was lodged in his leg. So yeah, my grandfather was fucking hardcore. That's all I'm trying to say. But then he did love his Coors Light, Brian, just like you.
Well, I usually only drink this when I go to Alaska. So this is the weird thing for me. I usually wait until I go to Alaska on my fishing trip. Because it just can't get you drunk, which you don't.
Not really, unless you're a lightweight or something. Yeah,
exactly. And
what they used to call that, the Rocky Mountain Coors Light. It was Colorado Kool-Aid, right?
That's what coconut water when we're out there.
Yeah, something like that. But I remember Colorado Kool-Aid, where there's okay, this is super easy to drink.
Yeah, you can't really get drunk, so it's perfect for boats.
Yeah, tail gunner. There you go. Old man Bird knows. Yeah.
Tail gunner.
You served under Reagan? All right. I served under my first year I served under Clinton. And then the huge piece of shit, George W. Bush. But talk about thank you for your service. Yes, exactly. Let's see. Do we have anything left? I'm done with topics. Are we good? You guys want to call it a night? We good?
Yeah, this movie made $30 million in the re-release.
This streamed it?
I couldn't believe that it made that much.
Oh, you talking about? No, that's what I was saying earlier. It's God.
It's
still going. It's still going.
I think it gets pulled. I think tomorrow's the last day, though.
But I think internationally, it even made another 15 or something, right?
Yeah.
That's
nuts. Did they do it? Did they do any remastering?
Hang on. I have it right here.
They used. I think it was the 4K remaster from 5 years ago.
Okay. No new scenes or anything.
No.
All right. There was tons and tons of deleted scenes, but most of them were never actually finished. They're half finished, 3/4 finished.
Okay, so all right, you're right. Kat, you're right. 49 million worldwide.
Wow.
But dude, that's impressive. That's impressive.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a 20-year-old movie that most people thought sucked at the time.
Well, it shows you the state of movies these days. It's there's so many bad movies. All right.
Well, it's also
I guess these days
watching the prequels that are now older are going back to see it.
Yeah, and a lot of kids have watched Rebels and watched Clone Wars and stuff, and Andor and everything, and they're like, hey, you know what? This is one of the original Star Wars movies. For them, it's one of the originals. Believe it or not, it's crazy. Part 1, part 2, part 3. They're so old. Unreal. They should re-release the original trilogy. That would be fun.
Well, didn't they just have a screening in England or something where they did the original Star Wars? No A New Hope, no Jabba the Hutt, no McClunky. Just flat
No
out
way,
Star
you're
Wars.
It
kidding
was
me. Like
no, it was the first time the Technicolor print had been screened since
the
1978.
actual like final work print, the one that we saw
The
as
one,
kids.
the Technicolor film print of the original theatrical cut, first time it's been screened since
Oh, fuck.
1978.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
But I saw all
If you got-
three of the original, not the special editions, but all three of the original theatrical cuts in theaters about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay.
No,
I don't think they were
because
supposed
a lot
to
of
show
people
those ones.
say
They
like
got
if you
permission
have
from
one of
the
those
agent, they showed-
original VHSs, not the ones with the repurposed boxes, but the 80s VHSs, those motherfuckers are worth money because
But
they don't.
I've got the because when they released the DVDs, there was I think a box set or there was supplementary releases that were the original cut, and I do have those. See you, Jedi Master.
Those are widely available on eBay as well, but those
Yeah.
were all released in September
Good
2000.
night, Jedi.
Jedi Master. Salute.
Hey, later, buddy. We'll have you on for sure. You seem entertaining as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great guy. No, he's
We gotta
great.
get him on the stream.
Ben's
Good night,
here.
Jedi.
Ben's here. Ben Square.
Hey, Ben.
Older but not wiser. Hey, what's up, dude? This is my co-host of Flights and Flicks. You guys know Ben.
Yeah.
Well, the
My-
original edit of the original movie was the one that screened at the
Yeah.
film festival.
Like flat out.
Yeah.
And
Where it's like where you know you can see pieces coming out of the Death Star. That's sweet.
Yeah. It's not.
Well,
no,
no, if
ring.
you remember, yeah, the original
No
Death Star
Praxis ring.
explosion was just ridiculous.
They like actually blew something up, like firecrackers.
And they just
See,
screened,
well, that's basically what it was, Brian. Yeah.
and they
and
just screened Empire at the Chinese last Thursday with George Lucas for the Turner Classic Movies Festival.
Yes. But even with Empire, like even the special editions, Empire is the one that is least touched.
Yes, it is.
I thought that was the one
I
that
actually like the additions to it, where you get the windows and Vespin, like the windows in Cloud
yeah.
City.
You
It's
get to
very
see the
like,
whole Wampa.
yeah. Well, I don't really like that
I don't
much.
mind it because it was an actual suit. It wasn't a CGI
I know, but
monkey boy.
no. I don't mind the look of it, but I love the fact that you don't see it in the original cut. Like
Kinda
it's
like
Kinda
more, it's more tense,
I like I like when they're in Mos Eisley and you get to see the extra bangs walking around. It's like, oh, okay, it's not just like three people in the fucking movie in the street.
Yeah, exactly. A bustling hive of scum and villainy, and then there's like 3 kids.
Yeah.
And I never, honestly, I never understood this, where he's like, where Leia goes to Han. She's like, I thought you decided to stay. He's like, well, the bounty hunter we ran into at
Or
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, changed my mind. Why? Like, you're part of the Rebel Alliance. Who the fuck, if you stay with this group, like, who is coming for you? He's like, I gotta go. Job, I got a price on my head. If I don't pay Jabba the Hutt back, I'm a dead man. It's like, really? You're
Well, that's
like
not what it's
in
about,
this
though.
big
Because
fucking
that's not
military
what it's
force.
about. He's in love with Leia, and she's not reciprocating, so he's leaving.
Well,
No,
wait a
That's
second.
why he comes back
but
at the
I
end of
get-
the first movie to destroy the Death Star. It wasn't for the reward. He came back for Leia.
No, I understand that, but
Yeah.
there's still an element of that where it's like that's
But
yeah. You know what?
but
Actually,
with the
Kat, you're right.
reward,
You're right.
did he still get the reward?
Yeah, he did. He just didn't.
Yeah,
spend
remember
it
he's
on-
loading
he
up
just
all
didn't
that
pay off
bullshit
debt.
on his fucking ship.
Yeah, but that's after he left and before he helped Luke out, and then when he comes
Well, I'm
back,
sure he
is
didn't give it back. Why would he give it back?
Then why is he still hanging out? And Kat
Well,
has a
because
really
he,
good
well,
point. 'Cause-
as Kat said, he wants to fuck
Yeah.
Leia. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, he came
I
back
would.
for Leia.
I
'Cause
would.
he's the one that calls out, "Oh, you want me to stay for something else, don't you?" She's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "Probably do."
dude, Scotty, I think you and Jill have a new buddy because Ben, call me when you guys are doing Star Trek. And he's pretty hard. He's pretty hardcore, man.
Well,
I've done all. Oh, she's already done all the movies. Yeah. Well,
that's fine. We can do a general. Like we're after we finish with this, we're gonna have a staff
you know what?
meeting and figure out what's
I
going on
like
Friday.
I like Yub Nub, but
No, I love it.
I was fine with the changes they made. The Celtic music from John Williams. Yep,
No,
nope.
that was better than-
No.
Yeah.
I like Yub Nub.
I love Yub Nub.
Yep,
Nub
nope.
is I remember going to see the Return of the Jedi special edition, and when I got to the end of the movie and they took out Yub Nub, I felt ripped off.
Yeah.
Well, no, I get that. The first time you notice it's gone, you're like, fuck this. But then you learn to accept it, Scotty.
I'm still a little bit depressed.
I paid for
Yeah.
Yub Nub, motherfucker. And you just throw
That's
your
the only reason. Like whenever I watch Return of the Jedi,
That would
I
be
always
great
watch the
chicken type
theatrical
thing. You
cut.
storm out of the theater back to the box office. Like,
Yeah, give me my money back. I was here for
You're
you.
getting pulled out. You're looking back.
That'd be great.
If I did, they would be theme shows. I would have to rank them. I'm guessing they're having a conversation about.
Well, we should. We should rank the next generation flicks.
Well, Ben, if I know Ben, which I do very well, not only is he the most knowledgeable comic book guy I know, but he's a Star Trek guy. And you guys already did all those, but if you ever get into other new Star Trek stuff, I'm sure Ben would be a good addition.
It doesn't matter. It's so funny because anytime an anniversary shows up, and Kat and I have done all of the James Bond movies, reviewed them sort of retrospectively.
By the way, are you guys
anytime
doing?
Anytime that there's an anniversary for any of these, is like, so when are we going to talk about it? Because we just
Forget about it. Forget everything I said about Ben. Forget about it.
Why?
Based off this comment. Just forget it.
Dude, I have a Tasha Yar action figure, so.
Well, Tasha Yar was hot, but.
Yeah, and
There's
Data
two
fucked her.
anniversaries. I had to think about it. There's 2 anniversaries this year if we do Bond.
Yeah.
Spectre 10 years and Thunderball 60 years.
Oh.
But Spectre
those aren't until November, December. So.
Oh, that's perfect timing for James Bond.
Are you guys doing Mission Impossible tomorrow, or you're going?
Yeah,
you're not doing it tomorrow, right? It's next
Oh
week.
shit, that's right. I forgot that there's a gap. Everybody's going to be waiting on Fallout.
That'll be next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Right. Yeah.
Huh. I forgot about that. I was gearing
I'm
up.
driving down your way tomorrow, Ben.
Oh, that's right. For your first trip.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I'll be out of town. I'm leaving town tomorrow.
I'm going to be alone on the internet tomorrow.
Well, you're welcome
You'll
to.
find things to do, I'm sure.
You're welcome to throw up a
do
CG
something in the regular time slot.
stream anytime you want, Scotty. You know that.
No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm a hobo, but I know I know the right train cars to jump.
What does your hat say, Brian? Cat?
Oh yeah, it's from the CES show in Las Vegas from 2023. Actually, I just realized that the dang Lakers are playing right now. I should be wearing my.
Oh, they're done, dude. They're done.
I know they're done.
Yeah, they're not making it. They're not going to make it.
Did you buy that
LeBron's
off of Fletch?
I wore this.
Yeah, right.
I wore this. I actually was on the jumbotron at the Staples Center, like I don't know, 5 years ago with this hat.
Nice.
Yeah,
Coming in at 6'5" with the afro 6'9".
Yeah. Oh man, I love him. Doors closed.
Yeah, the Lakers. They put up a good fight this year, but once again, Clippers are going to pass them, and Golden State Warriors are probably going to go to the finals, in my guess. And I hope they do. I hope they do.
I hope they do too. I love watching them. They're fun.
I love the Golden State Warriors. Yeah,
and that's how
I'm a Bulls fan, but Bulls didn't even make the fucking playoffs.
And that's how much we love Revenge of the Sith. It is degenerated into an NBA conversation.
It has. It has.
If you guys are talking sports, I want to go.
Oh, all right. Well, let's cut this off, you guys. 3 hours. Revenge of the Sith. Any last words? Like the final thing I'll say about it was like, I didn't like this trilogy. Watching it in theaters, I kept getting disappointed until the second hour of this movie, and then I was like, okay, now we're talking. And I liked the last hours. The music worked really well with all the tragedy that was going on. A lot of stuff worked for me. I thought that's when Ewan McGregor really kicked in his emotion, and even Natalie Portman finally figured out like where she was in the story and gave off a couple of good, he's like, oh, you don't like me because of Anakin or because of Obi-Wan? No, because of what you've done. It's like she speaks the voice of reason right there. Where you're like, oh, okay.
It's kind of about the dead.
That's
she didn't want to believe.
I don't know about you, but the dead children kind of bother me. What do you think? Do you think
dry as a desert down there?
Should we elect somebody that loves dead children and murders dead children? Anyway,
although I knew that this was your hobby from the last movie, so I don't know why.
Scotty, you go. We'll go around the table and then we'll give Brian the final words.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that of the 9 movies, I will rank them in order of release, and that is how I feel about all of them. That's how it goes. But yeah, it's a fine film. It's a fine film that culminates. It's everything that I wanted from the prequel trilogy. It was like the first one, I was like, oh, I get to see Darth Vader, and I didn't. And then the second one was like, ooh, Darth Vader, and no. And then the third one, it was like, there he is, and it's over. So, like, I got what I wanted. I think it's George Lucas telling a story of how a republic falls into fascism, and I find it interesting that is the story that he wanted to tell, starting in like whenever he started writing the Phantom Menace, and then dovetailed into real world events. And so I thought that was interesting, being anti-establishment with the prequel trilogy. I like this movie. I still think Attack of the Clones is more fun, but when I watched it today, I was like, of course this sucks. The bad guys win. And I do enjoy when the bad guys win. The downside of it is that I know that he gets redeemed, and so they're balancing like him, but he also is Darth Vader. And it's like, well, I like Darth Vader. You do understand that he's a bad guy. Yeah. It's like Olivia Newton-John at the end of Grease or something. I don't know what it is. And so anyway, yeah, I like it. It's fun. I rewatch it. It's still in my rotation of things. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to put it on.
Kat.
It's got a lot of great Star Warsy stuff in it. Good nostalgia in a way, but as an individual movie, and the story doesn't really hold up very well. But yeah, echoing what Scotty said. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
See, okay. So
we already talked it over, so it's like it does have some great Star Wars moments in it, and John Williams does deliver another banger score.
Yeah, he does. He does. Before we get to Brian, this chat has been, this poll has been up all night, and it's the final poll. We had 21 votes. Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. Is it fine? Is it great? Is it shit? Or I've never seen it. It's fine. Wins by a landslide with 47%. Great actually wins 43%, and total shit gets 19%. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people say it's fine.
Yeah, slightly less people say it is great.
I'm kind of there. I'm like, it's fine. Okay, Brian, final words. You get the floor, sir.
I liked what Kat said. It's as a standalone movie. No, but in the whole lore of Star Wars, if you like Star Wars, it's a really important piece of the pie, and it's got some good scenes, good fight scenes for sure. I mean, when else do you see Yoda doing a lightsaber battle?
Or hanging out with Chewbacca.
Yeah, exactly.
Not shoehorned at all.
Was that Peter Mayhew?
It was.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Mon Mothma it's the same Mon Mothma in every movie, same actress too.
Well, and Andor as well, yeah.
Well, she got cut out of the movie because that was all in the deleted scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shoot.
I
Yeah,
think Brian is thinking of Andor too much.
No, but
Well, they were the same actors, though. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
and they were supposed to have Jimmy Smits for Andor, but he just wasn't available.
He aged.
recast him as Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah.
No, he's doing the Dexter show.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I've heard
But yeah.
Benjamin Bratt's pretty good, though. I haven't seen those 3 yet, but I've heard he's
But
good.
he only has a cameo in the second 3, so it won't be until next week.
Does he say hello? I'm Bail Organa.
No, he says hello, and then Mon Mothma says hello, Bail.
He says, "I love you, Miss Congeniality."
Does he blow up when the Death Star blows up the planet?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he dies on
Alderaan. He has a very a terrible death.
That's the thing.
For a character that they're really pushing on the show.
When they do a new re-edit, like if Lucas ever says, "I want to throw something in,"
yeah,
they are going. No, they're gonna show Jimmy Smith as Bail Organa on Alderaan.
Oh, cool! It's just and the laser.
I want to see that. Am I
yeah.
like
No, it'd be
morbid?
cool.
But I want to see that. I want to see what's going on that day that the Death Star just goes boom.
Cloudy with a chance of destruction.
I'm sure Anakin would get a kick out of seeing the kids in the playground and all getting fried or whatever. I kind of picture it like the Terminator 2 scene where Sarah Connor is on the fence and she
or the Star Trek movie where the planet's falling apart.
Oh yeah, like Genesis.
Yeah, it's cool. So anyway,
all right. Well,
it's an important piece. You got to watch it if you like Star Wars. That's
well, you guys hang on for a second. We're gonna end the stream, but don't leave. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.